Is on the air. We're joining you here on the west side of Chicago, Westinghouse High School, for the game today between your Whitney Young Dolphins, your undefeated Whitney Young Dolphins, and the Westinghouse Warriors. I'm joined today by the godfather of the Whitney Young live stream, Tony McHale. Tony, good to have you.
Barry, good to be back.
Oh, man. I woke up this morning, went outside. This is a day that feels like football, smells like football. This is football. Today it's quintessential, man. We've got the leaves turning. We got optimal weather. We're here for a big time, late in the season, Chicago Public League showdown between the Dolphins and the Warriors.
Right, where else would you rather be, and what else would you rather be doing? The 7-0 Dolphins come into Week 8 looking for an 8-0 start to this season. The Public League Championship not on the line today, but you got to win today to get to next week to get a share. Right now, as we sit here, it looks like there's a chance that it'll either be a two-way or a three-way share of the Public League regular season championship. Big games next week. Whitney Young Taft, Morgan Park Simeon. But you got to get through today. You got to be focused. You got to come out and play just like you did last week against Amundsen.
All right, we've got a coin flip going on, but I'm going to get us to the talk I had with Coach Finger yesterday. Here we go.
Coach Finger, last week against Amundsen, really an overall team effort, all three phases. But let's start out with Coach OD's defense. I think total tally of the game was like 73 yards given up over the course of the game against an Amundsen team that can actually move the ball up and down the field.
Yeah, Coach OD starts with him, had a great game plan. We had a couple different personnel packages, so lots of different guys were playing that may not normally start. We were kind of rotating on the D-line, we were rotating in the secondary, we were rotating in the linebackers as well. So all three levels of the defense had guys in and out, and Coach OD had a great game plan, and our guys stayed really engaged throughout the week at practice, because that's what it takes. If you're going to play 18 guys on defense, as kind of your first team defense, depending on the situation, depending on the call, it takes more guys than usual, obviously, staying locked in and understanding the game plan and watching film of Amundsen, and I think it showed up. I think, I'm thinking of Aaron Champion made a great play on a bubble pass. Maxwell Warner stayed home on a reverse. Quinn Duhan broke up a couple passes. I think that film study and that prep showed in how the guys played, and also a credit to our scout team last week. Coach OD puts together that along with our defensive game plan, and I thought it got our guys really ready, and that showed. They played really fast, they played violent, and they played like they kind of knew what was coming from Amundsen. So credit to that whole unit, and it starts with Coach OD, our DC.
All right, and then on offense, some balance. First game of the year that we went over 200 yards rushing and over 100 yards passing. Saw some things out of Von Conrad, a great pitch and catch to Quinn Duhan, and then the touchdown pass to Miles Barsman was pretty cool as well.
Yeah, no, it's great when we're distributing the ball. That way I think Quinn had a catch, Miles had a catch. I want to say Barry had a catch. Just working, our screen game, our deep passing game, sort of all levels of the offense were clicking when we needed them to. We kind of revisited our red zone. We struggled there. We put in some more goal line stuff that we're going to have for the rest of the season. But besides that, we moved the ball really well, and it starts, as it always does, with Coach Eddie and his offensive line group. That first drive, I think we had the ball for 8 or 9 minutes and imposed our will physically. We said against Kenwood, we had talked about playing all 60 minutes, and that came to fruition towards the end of the game, right? I knew the guys were going to be excited for that game and, be ready to go, and then we had to make sure that energy carried to the fourth quarter, and it did, and then Amundsen, I said the opposite might be true. When we sign up for 60 minutes, that means right from the first play, we got to take it to these guys. We can't let them hang in there. We can't let them think they can play with us physically, and I thought our line really set the tone for an opening drive. Max and Luke were running downhill, running through defenders, and that opens up that passing game from there. We're going to ride the horses as long as they're going to take us, and luckily everybody's healthy and everybody's excited, and they got us rolling pretty good right now.
All right, and then special teams. Solomon Bradley actually more struggles than usual. I mean, came up short on a field goal, but then you rolled him out there for a 44-yarder.
Yeah, you know, Salo, I think, is the best kicker in the CPS. I think he's one of the best kickers in the state. You know, some of our issues with the made kicks and the block kicks have been on operations. You know, we revisited personnel on that unit this week in practice because when Salo's confident and he knows he's going to be protected, you know, Ben Barrett's going to get the snap there, Vaughn's going to get the hold down, and Salo's going to drill it. And 44 yards from a high school kicker with those wider hashes, you know, especially, I think it was from the right hash, is... you know, I'm not sure I've ever seen that. You know, I know Fernando Lozano, I think, had a 40-yarder in 2021 against Lincoln Park. But 44 yards, I mean, and frankly, we threw him out there from 28. So we're good, 45 and in, we're pretty confident. And I thought he had a couple extra yards on that, too. So, you know, maybe 46, 47. So, you know, I think we're talking right now whether he's going to kick in college, because I think he really can. He's hardly had maybe 6 months of actual kicking coaching. So he's just a really impressive former soccer player who can drill it. He's been a weapon on kickoff all year. He's money and extra points, which is not something to take for granted in Chicago Public League football. And just a really, really special kicker. And not to overlook our holder, and you know, I'm a former holder, so I love to give the holders credit. But then Ben, our long snapper's the best in the city, one of the best in the state. So we're lucky to have those guys, and they are truly difference makers. You know, I think we've got 3 one-point victories this year, and all of those 1 points came from our kicking game. So the 44-yarder is kind of the sexy, you know, kicking part of it, but the consistent and reliable extra points are winning us games too. So really proud of those guys and excited about using that unit moving forward as well.
All right, sounds good. I've been chided for not coming up with a nickname for Salo, right? Because Fernando Lozano was the weapon.
Yeah.
But it's like, I can't roll that out again. But I'm going to work on, you know, you threw out the words money and sexy. So maybe we'll work with those tomorrow. Speaking of which, let's roll over to Westinghouse.
Well, we're going to have to cut that short.
Coach does love a good interview. All right, I know I got one job to do today. One job. So right now the wind is blowing 6 miles an hour from the south by southwest, which is basically coming across the field from the Westinghouse side toward the camera. But most importantly, 36% humidity. We got Dolphin dew point at 43%.
Oh, we
that
are.
is Dolphin dew point weather right there, baby.
Absolutely. So weather is perfect. So Solomon Bradley.
You were interviewing Coach Finger. Dolphins won the toss.
Bradley going to kick off here. Money in the bank. Solomon Bradley got it teed up at the 40.
All I can tell you is there's 2 guys deep.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be tough. So number 3, who's a playmaker, big-time playmaker for them, Terry Ricks, a senior here. It's senior day for the Westinghouse Warriors. They got all announced before the game. So Ricks we'll see a lot of. That's Ricks who's going to field it at the 15. Head of steam across the 30 where he's tackled.
Aaron Champion.
Aaron Champion. I've got a bunch of makeup calls. Aaron Champion being one. I got all fired up saying it was BG3 on a tackle for loss last week. It was Aaron Champion.
It's always Aaron. Just go with Aaron Champion.
I know. Another makeup I've got is Andrew Latham. I missed a really nice tackle for loss for him on a swing pass down close to the goal line. So there, I got those in right off the bat. Aaron Champion, Latham. So it looks like MJ Woods, Dylan Paracchini, Nick Dale, you're starting on the line. There's Zavala, the quarterback. Give to probably Cross up the middle.
Football player Joseph Gray.
Joseph Gray with the tackle. No gain, or maybe a gain of 1 on that.
I got to get all of Jack's stuff in today. He gave me a bingo card. I got to make sure it happens.
All right, second down play. Again, we're tough to see, but that's Zavala back to pass, throwing deep. Bardsma on the coverage. Bardsma was all over Ricks out there. Really nice coverage by the junior cornerback, Miles Bardsma, who I also messed up and called him Brian Bardsma last week because his brother's name is Brandon Bardsma.
So it's close. So 3 receivers in the pattern that time for Westinghouse. They all kind of ran the same route, all ended up in the middle of the field. So you had 4 Dolphins for 3 Westinghouse receivers. Puts Westinghouse in a 3rd and long right here, Barry. So you got to think they're going to the air again.
Zavala, the quarterback, waiting for the snap. Pericini got a little too excited on the nose.
They're going to call it against Westinghouse.
Okay, so he got excited because he had a reason to get excited. So somebody on the interior of that line. Again, that line led by Ralph Love, number 70. Love was an all Chicago Public League offensive lineman last year. They like to run behind him. You see a lot of Devion Cross. Cross had over 25 carries in both of the games that I saw on film. That snap is over the top of Zavala's head. Zavala's just going to cover it up at the 12-yard line. So that was a big-time win for the Dolphins here on their first possession, or the Warriors' first possession. Pushes the ball all the way back to the 12-yard line, where we saw in warm-ups the center snap from the long snapper to the punter was not always clean in warm-ups.
And not where you want, Barry. You lost 19 yards on that first possession.
I think Duhan back deep. There was a good snap. Punt is straight up in the air.
Fire.
Everybody gets out of the way. Good bounce, actually.
How can there be a flag down?
Flag was down by the back judge. Thrown at about the 36-yard line.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's got to be against the Dolphins, but block below the waist maybe? That's a hold.
So somebody was back there.
So great roll.
Vicinity. Yeah, great roll on a kick that probably only traveled less than 20 yards in the air, but then rolled close to another 20. So we're waiting for the signal here.
Oh, personal foul against Westinghouse. 5-yard face mask from the spot, Barry. So
personal foul on the Warriors.
So they're going to take it from the 47 to the 32. So the Dolphins will start on the 32, 1st and 10. 10 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in this first quarter.
All right, so Von Conrad, the junior quarterback, leads the Dolphins out on the field. Looks like we've got Maxwell Warner in at running back. Barry Gordon and DeMille split wide to the top. Again, we're a little low on the field here today, so not as easy. Bardsma and Duhan closest to us. First down for the Dolphins. BG3 in motion. Handoff to Maxwell Warner, running right behind the middle of that UN security force. He had Pericini, who was riding out there. So good first down carry.
And great push by the offensive line. The entire Westinghouse defensive line was just backing up. You had one of the linebackers come in, kind of wrap Maxwell Warner up, but he got dragged another 4 yards.
So 2nd down and 5. Again, the defensive set for Westinghouse, you'll see a lot of guys end up in the box. They are not afraid of walking 8, 9 guys into the box. Conrad, a little flip over to Warner. Warner up across for a first down.
I think the ball's on the ground, but there's a helmet.
That's
Nick Dale's helmet.
Nick Dale's helmet rolled into the end zone.
So the ball did come loose, Barry, but they blew it dead. So first down for the Dolphins.
The chain gang on the far side still working to get themselves organized. So
Get
Dale
set.
needs to come out for a play. Efren Solano checks in. First down at the 21-yard line.
Great job on that play by Will DeMille. He set the edge, let Warner come on the inside. There was some penetration from Westinghouse. We're waiting for the play to come in.
So again, Westinghouse enters today's game with a 4-3 overall record. They're 2-3 in the Chicago Public League Red Division, so very much alive for Red Division playoffs. So this is a big game for them. Conrad the quarterback, Duhan, in motion, taken by Maxwell Warner. Picks up a few before he is tackled by a whole bunch of Warriors. Again, some activity downfield with the offensive linemen of the Whitney Young Dolphins. They're getting to that second level and making sure that those linebackers and safeties of Westinghouse are aware of their presence.
So second straight play where Westinghouse blitzed their linebackers. So if the Dolphins have something they can dial up that looks like a little screen, it's going to go for a touchdown, because right now Westinghouse is just selling out on every run.
That's their modus operandi. They walk a bunch of guys into the box, and then from that sort of 4-3 setup, those three linebackers, they might blitz 1, 2, or all three of them. There's Conrad keeping it himself. Picked up a couple.
Looked like Terry Ricks on the tackle.
It's a little read option there for Conrad. But I like what you're saying there, Tony. I mean, it's where I've seen, I've watched both their game against Lincoln Park and against Peyton. And when you can get to the edge against this team, because they're just throwing so many guys up the middle into those A and B gaps, if you can get to the edge with something, that's where you can usually make a pretty big play.
So clock continues to run. We're at 7:15. Dolphins in no hurry. Kind of like last week, Barry, so impressed with that first drive for Whitney Young that just took 12 minutes of game clock.
First quarter plus a part of the second. I think like you did the stats on it. I mean, against Amundsen, Whitney Young ran 50-plus plays, I think 53 to Amundsen's 25. There was
That's going to go against the Dolphins.
Yep, I think a little bit of movement on the right-hand side of that offensive line. So 5 yards, that'll march them back. So it'll be about a 3rd down and 10. You're right in. So what the interview that we got to on that was Coach Finger was just starting to talk about Solomon Bradley and the range that he has. Ball's sitting at the 21 right now, so that'd make it a 38-yarder.
Do you want to put your stamp on this game? 2 plays right here. Either pin Westinghouse deep or keep this drive going. This will just be the 5th play of the drive that started on the 32.
So Conrad, quarterback, I think he's got Jolich behind him now in the backfield. Bunch on the right-hand side. Conrad rolling right, looking downfield, looking to the end zone. He's got 2 guys in the vicinity, but ball sails out of bounds. Both DeMille and BG3 in the vicinity. So we are going to roll out Solomon Bradley.
So a little tough. The wind just gusted up there, probably about 10 or 12 miles an hour. No flags here, really. Well, the flags over there are blowing straight north.
You gave us the weather report.
I know. It says the wind's coming out of the south.
So we got the doctors. Dr. Barrett, 4.5-star long snapper.
Will DeMille, last player coming in on the field goal team.
Field goal protect.
Now we're getting another ball.
Got to get that kicking ball out there. Make sure it's the right ball.
Super hard?
No, super
soft.
Super. Yep. A little very soft. A little underinflated maybe.
Never.
So Conrad gonna put himself down for the snap at the 29-yard line. So this will be a 39-yarder. Solomon Bradley again booted through a 44-yarder. He's 3 of 5 on field goals for the year. Low snap. Conrad does a nice job of grabbing it. Plenty of distance. And Dr. Solomon Sexy Money Bradley with the field goal to put the Dolphins on the board here halfway through the first quarter.
So 39-yard field goal on what was a drive that started on the 32 after the short punt and we'll call it a face mask on Westinghouse. So Westinghouse will get their second chance with the ball, Barry. They started on the 33, ended up on the 14 on their first drive.
So a lot of trust in Coach Finger rolling out Solomon Bradley. I think if they would have gained something on that 3rd and long situation, but with the incomplete pass and facing a 4th and 10, 4th and 11, Coach Finger, who runs the special teams units for the Dolphins, decided to put it in the capable hands of his Dr. Barrett to Dr. Conrad to Dr. Solomon Bradley connection, putting the Dolphins up 3-0 here Again, hard for us. It's a sunny day. I think we got 5:49 left in the first quarter.
That's what we're going to call it.
Bradley back to get ready to kick off here. We've got Efren Solano, actually Adrian Del Villar on the kicking team. Low liner, picked up, not picked up, now picked up at the 15. Good hustle over there by the Dolphins and a big hit on the sidelines. Yeah. I think that was Solomon Bradley. He always appreciates an opportunity to
it's good when
some guys.
It's good when your kicker's the free safety too, so that helps. But kicked away from Terry Ricks that time, didn't want a chance on a big return. So you pick up 10 yards from the last kickoff. You put Westinghouse in business. Let's see what this Dolphin defense can do. They're on a roll.
Yep, so again, big players for the Warriors that we're going to do our best to identify. Again, quarterback number 1, Mario Zavala. We're going to guess he has Devion Cross, number 4, next to him. That's Cross with the ball now, and he has met and dropped. BG3 in on the end, but that was Luke Yolich.
Joseph Gray.
Oh, Joseph, the football player, Gray. Nicely done. I saw 2, but it was 2-1 and not just 2 alone. So Gray was a little dinged up last week prior to the game. He did play the entire game. Did a nice job. Didn't see as many reps on offense as what he usually does, but he is out there in his middle linebacker position doing what the football player does. So it brings up a 2nd and 10. Zavala, the quarterback, handoff to Cross. Cross with a nice little push, gets about 6 yards into the middle of that Dolphin defense.
Looked like he was going to try and push that all the way to the outside, cut it back inside for a nice gain. Now you got 3rd and 4. There was a little bobble on the snap and handoff. So
yeah. I think Andrew Latham in there on the tackle. So Latham, Duhan, your deep safeties. BG3, Aaron Champion, your outside linebackers. Inside backers, Yolich and Gray. Back to pass, Zavala looking deep. He's got a man. He just overthrows him.
I think the play action got you a little bit. There was only one receiver in that route. He had brought Ricks in motion to the near side. So now you have a 4th down, another punt. Do you bring Duhan up and try and field this, avoid that 20-yard bounce that happened last time?
So Westinghouse facing up against Coach OD's defense, which has only given up 6.4 points per game. We've got 4 shutouts already.
Duhan only standing about 20 yards away from the line of scrimmage.
Duhan now backing up to the Dolphin 40-yard line. Good snap, punt again, same thing, straight up in the air. Let's see if and this time it checks up and it's rolling backwards and going to end up at about the 36-yard line. 36-yard line of the Westinghouse Warriors, which is going to put Von Conrad and the Dolphins back in business in Warrior territory.
Barry, this is the one they have to punch in the end zone. You can't let Westinghouse stick around in this football game right now. Their offense not clicking. You've had 2 great defensive stands. But another field goal here is just going to give Westinghouse hope that their defense is going to be able to hold on.
So we'll see. Again, Coach Finger, we couldn't get all the way through his interview, but he talked about it's a little bit of a different alignment here. Fullback, Conrad under center. Handoff to Yolich, slips a little bit and picks up a couple, maybe only 2 yards. We haven't seen that alignment for the Dolphins so far this year.
Do you want to explain to everybody what a fullback is?
Yeah, exactly. It's something that was around in the 1970s. Rocky Blyer, Larry Zonka, I think, was like technically a fullback.
The first fullback, yeah. Not the first, but the most successful.
Jim Taylor, I think, was a fullback back in the Packers' glory days.
Is that on the bingo card, Packers? Does that count as a Packers reference?
Absolutely. We've got a few more coming probably later. So Conrad again under center. He's got Yolich deep. Handoff to Yolich. Yolich, some nice blocking, but just Warriors did a nice job of just getting some bodies in there. I think looked like it was number 52, Jeremiah Jordan, on the tackle.
So, Barry, as you mentioned, there's no safety deep. So if the Dolphins get something just over this line of linebackers, it's going to go for a touchdown. Everybody's coming after the run right now. What's Coach Eddie going to dial up to keep this defense a little bit honest?
Yeah, same thing. So 3rd and long, 3rd and about 6. Need to get it to the 26-yard line. Looks like we've got Sheldon Williams checked in the game as the far side wide receiver. See if the UN security force can give Conrad some time, which they do. Tons of time. Rifles it in to Bardsma. Bardsma, first down, out of bounds across the 20-yard line.
Nice. You had a little rub route. You had Barry Gordon III go from right to left across the middle. Bardsma came from left to right. Confused the D-backs just a little bit. Bardsma with a nice catch and run.
Nice job by Von Conrad. A little bit of wind blowing out here. Conrad put a little extra zip, little velo on that ball to Bardsma, who he hooked up with for a touchdown last week against Amundsen. So Williams, Sheldon Williams, and BG3 to the far side. Bardsma, Duhan closest to us. Duhan in motion inside. Oh, no, Conrad keeps it, trying to look for the edge, gets out of bounds.
I think a really good play there. I think there was a couple things going on. High snap, messed up the timing with Yolich, so Conrad decided the best part was just to keep it himself. Pick up about 4 yards, positive play, keep the momentum going.
That's right, and I think that's where Conrad really seen him progress throughout the year. It's tough as a junior quarterback. You know, you've played, and he got some varsity snaps last year, but you go from JV where the speed is sort of slow. I was trying to look for a better
kind of slow.
Sort of slow and unorganized to a fast-paced Chicago Public League Red division, but he's done a nice job of maturing throughout the year. He's back to pass. He's got Bardsma again. Bardsma, Slifty moves into the end zone. Touchdown. We got to go and pick up a whole bunch of equipment that the Warriors left on the field there. There's some cleats, there's some jock straps. Bardsma put them on skates into the end zone for a touchdown.
Beat 3 guys, caught that ball about the 5. Yak is everything, made 3 guys miss as he got into the end zone. We'll call it about 1/3. What do you want to call it? 130,
Your guess is as good as mine. There's a scoreboard over there, and in theory we could see it, but the sun is shining on it. Got Dr. Barrett delivering to Dr. Conrad to Dr. Solomon Sexy Money Bradley, and the point after is good. Dolphins get out to an early 10-0 lead here.
That's the score they needed, Barry. About 3 minutes on that drive. We'll call it 36 yards. Bardsma, I don't know. Now he's a touchdown machine. 2 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see some of that, some of the trust that develops on these guys. Bardsma and Conrad, workout partners in the offseason. Thinking about that game last year against Westinghouse. Bennett Newman, Anthony Hood, workout partners in the offseason. They had a big-time game against Westinghouse last year. The Dolphins were able to pass for over 200 yards in that. Also a big breakout game for Nasir, once a Dolphin, always a Dolphin, Rankin. He had 4 catches, 132, and 2 touchdowns in that game last year. Where
I'm sorry, it looks like they have Ricks on the far side this time. Trying to confuse the Dolphins, see if they recognize kick away.
Bradley got it teed up at the 40. Line drive kick last time. This time he kicks it deep. Going to be fielded at inside the 10-yard line. Good head of steam for the Warriors. And that was, again, Solomon Bradley, I think, on the backside of that. Are we right? Yeah,
yep.
So Bradley, last line of defense, did a really nice job. Again, a guy that plays some safety. He saved a touchdown there.
I'm big on the squib kicks from here on out if you got a choice.
Yep, absolutely. So the other thing that Westinghouse can do is they can play in a hurry. They'll play with some tempo, so they are ready to roll. Ball at the 35-yard line. Zavala is able to corral the snap, trying to stay alive, but just gets swarmed under. So, again, a bad snap. MJ Woods.
Everybody. I think it was everybody was there.
Yep, MJ and I think Pericini.
So, Barry, we're definitely under 40 seconds.
All right, so looking at the end of the first quarter here, Dolphins out to a quick 10-0 lead. Pericini, Dale, MJ Woods, your lineman. Zavala stumbled it again. I think their lineman got back on top of it, but that snap didn't even get back to Zavala, or he was pulling out of there
under
before.
Center, yeah,
he was pulling out there. They're just really having a challenge on that center quarterback exchange.
So that's
like the 4th time that's happened.
Under 10 seconds, we're going to take this to the end of the first quarter and switch ends.
All right, so we're going to flip sides of the field here. Again, if you're just joining us, good job by the Dolphins. Defense forced a 3-and-out on the first possession when the Solomon Bradley hammered home a 39-yarder, 39-yard field goal. Then another 3-and-out for the Warriors, and that was answered by a Conrad to Miles Bardsma touchdown pass, putting the Dolphins up 10-0 here in the second quarter.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I don't know if you have insight on this. Last week it happened, happening again today. What's with the pregame handshake?
You know, I was going to ask Coach Finger. My guess is that
tempers aren't running as high pregame as they are postgame.
Yep. I'm guessing something happened somewhere. Didn't happen in any of our games, and it's actually one of my favorite things of the game is watching that postgame, because I think it's an opportunity for guys who have fought hard against each other all day to give acknowledgement to each other and the coaching staff. I mean, it's one of my favorite things to watch those guys go through. But yeah, you're right. Back-to-back weeks where they did the pregame handshake, and I would guess that is what's in play on that.
So if you're saying if one thing happens in CPL, it affects
it's
the rest of the program
effect, yes. That's why certain schools only get to play at Lane.
Yeah, well, parents. I mean, you can't take into account parents.
That's right.
The kids are probably fine. It's us that get in the way.
Yep. And we'll Tony touched on it a bit. We'll get a little deeper in. Maybe we'll try to see if we can get some red division. A lot of games going on today. Zavala, there's a snap that gets to him. He's pressured out of the pocket and then met and dropped. I know MJ Woods on the backside. On the front side, Jolich definitely there.
Looks like maybe a yard.
I think Latham came up as well on that. So that was a 3rd down play. I'm going to give BG3 some credit on that as well. Did I get everybody?
I think you got everybody.
Champion. Aaron
sure.
Champion is probably.
You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss him.
Miss him again. My goodness. So that's another 3-and-out. Again, Dolphins, if they do their job here, are going to end up with the ball in very good field position. Duhan back deep. The punt block was on. This punt, again, straight up in the air. That one is going to bounce, and it's going to make it into Westinghouse territory.
Talk about a home field roll, right? That's 2 out of 3.
Urging it on. The Dolphins, again, have only returned 1 punt all season. So I think it's, well, Riverboat Dan Finger is willing to dial it up certain places. I think the way this defense has played all year, I think his philosophy there is let's just get the ball back and we'll do our job on that side.
You know where that philosophy came from, and I don't want to speak ill of one of the best players ever to play at Whitney Young. As a sophomore at Lane Tech, A. Hood misunderstood the rules of kickoff versus punt and put 2 on the ground that Lane Tech recovered and made that a much more interesting football game than it needed to be. But then Malik Amos would have never blocked a kick to win the game and end up at USC. So
exactly.
What are you going to do?
There you go. That was the master plan. That was the master plan that Anthony Hood had, and we'll talk about that. That's Duhan in motion and tight. That's Maxwell Warner being wrestled down almost immediately. Did a good job of getting back to the line of scrimmage.
That was definitely a ride. He went around 2 times, I think, trying to throw the tackler off his back. But I think the opportunity here is, A, you mentioned at the top, Dolphins ran for 200, threw for 100 last week. They're going to need to pass the ball a little bit more as they get into the playoffs, both state and CPL.
Yes.
With the way this defense plays, it's an opportunity to throw the ball a little bit more. If you can get it out quickly, you're going to get chunks of yards because everybody's playing the run.
See, Paracini was just off getting a quick tape job from Sam, the trainer. So he is out right now. I saw Adrian Del Villar checking in. So, again, we've got the fullback alignment. We'll have to see who that is. That might be Del Villar there. That was Warner, just met and dropped immediately.
I think if Warner takes that all the way outside, I think it's a big gain. He cut it back up right outside the tackle We'll have to ask Coach Finger where that play was designed to go, but I think it was wide open on the outside.
Yep, I wish we could do a better job on some of these defensive numbers for Westinghouse. That was a nice job on the edge. I think that might have been Brennan Watson, the sophomore cornerback, who came up in run coverage on that.
I wish green numbers on green jerseys weren't a thing.
Exactly. We got Jonathan Ebijimakin in. Duhan in the slot. Conrad throwing it deep, looking for BG3.
So
not able to hook up on it.
There's a flag somewhere, I think. Oh, sideline warning on Whitney Young. Barry Gordon was looking over the wrong shoulder.
Yep.
That ball went to the right hash instead of the middle of the field. To the middle of the field, it's a touchdown.
It is one of these things, and the coaching staff was actually talking about it last night. Talk about like the, going through all the details. They were talking about how they would manage depending on if they got the ball or not, and this sun right here talking about what they wanted in the fourth quarter. BG3 looking directly back into that sun, late October sun here. Bradley averaging 31.1 yards per punt. Nice snap. Bradley hammers it.
Gets it to
Deep
turn over.
kick, that calling a fair catch, and Ricks does not get up to get it.
You hear the entire Westinghouse coaching staff yelling at Ricks to get away.
Yeah.
He let it drop and then for some reason was chasing it. But fourth drive now coming up for Westinghouse, Barry. They do not have positive yards so far in this football game.
Three and out.
First drive started at the 33, ended up at the 14. Second drive at the 25, ended at the 31. Last drive started at the 35, ended at the 31. So they're just looking to get into the positive total yards for the game. Looks like there's a timeout on the field. Oh, the clock went out.
Oh my Lord!
Seriously? I am not joking. The clock went out.
The most ridiculous thing. All the Dolphin fans with PTSD on the way the clock operated here 2 years ago, maybe they're going through the same shenanigans that went on there. There's a guy that's heading out, looking at the scoreboard. I feel like this is deja vu. So that was a game where the Dolphins had a lead into the fourth quarter. The clock sort of looked like it does right now, kind of flickered on and off for a while, and then went entirely off. And then apparently the clock was kept on the field, but Westinghouse ended up running about
72 plays.
72 plays in the fourth quarter until they scored, and then miraculously there was less than a minute left in the game.
So the power to the speakers still works because we got music.
Yep.
So that Dolphin drive started at 11:04. One incompletion to stop the clock. So figure 2 minutes went off the clock, give or take. So we should be somewhere around 9 as Westinghouse comes out. They're going to put the ball on about the 18-yard line. Everybody's just kind of standing around.
Yep. We got a little bit of time here, so
let's go. What do you got for us?
Let's talk a little bit more about this Westinghouse team. I talked about them coming in 4-3 overall, 2-3 in the Chicago Public League. They're led by Coach Julius Carter III. He's got a 31-42 record in his 8 years at Westinghouse. He's taken the Warriors to the IHSA playoffs 2 different times, most recently in 2022.
You know what else Coach Carter does? Coach Carter's a head girls basketball coach.
Yes, he is. I saw that on there. He did a really nice job. Got back and forth with me on a bunch of different things today. We were making sure that we had power out here. But so Coach Carter, actually, do you know?
You could have checked if you had power to the clock.
Yeah, we didn't get around to that detail. Do you know who preceded Coach Carter as the head coach of the Westinghouse Warriors?
I do not.
Sin-Q Turner.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Sin-Q was at Westinghouse.
His first head coach job?
Yeah, I won't say it was necessarily his first, but he was at Westinghouse for a few years, then went over to Kenwood, and we've talked a lot this year about how he went back to his alma mater and is leading the currently Chicago Public League undefeated Simeon squad that faces off against Morgan Park next week.
Next Saturday.
Yeah, that will be a heck
Is
of
that
a
at
game.
Lane? That might be down south. I think they play that one down south.
Well, let's see. I know I had pulled up the Morgan Park stuff because I couldn't remember. It's been a long time since those guys have lost a game. Morgan Park, Marist was their first week loss. I also checked in. Nazir Rankin has over 800 yards of total offense. He's over 700 receiving. They feed him the ball. He's got 9 touchdowns. Marcus Thaxton, their quarterback, just also a top-end guy. They've got 5 or 6 or 7 guys that all have D1 offers there, including Rankin, who's got 5 or 6 from the Big Ten.
All right, we're going to go with 9 minutes here, Barry. I'll try and keep track of what we got.
All right, Warriors just slamming their heads against an immovable object right now, that being the Whitney Young Dolphin defense. Joseph Gray in there on the tackle, as well as everybody on that right-hand side. Nick Dale, Paracchini, and Adrian Del Villar, all those guys on the line. Jolich and Gray, your inside backers.
What
Done
coach?
a nice job all year.
What Coach OD hasn't done is pull Duhan in closer. They're still respecting his
Zavala
passing game.
looking deep. Bardsma has got a beat on it.
Oh.
Nice job of getting the PBU, getting the pass breakup and not getting a interference call. The Warriors had Cornell Montgomery, who had a 76-yard touchdown against Peyton. Had him on the fly route.
It's going to be really tough, Barry. Every pass, and I think there's 4 of them for Westinghouse, has been a go deep.
Yeah,
right.
well,
Nothing underneath. Everything is long, trying to break it over the top of this Dolphin defense.
And that's what they show on film. I mean, they will try to get Ricks the ball sometimes in more of a screen type of thing. Another Zavala has to get up and get that. There was a hold on MJ Woods, but not called. And there's just, oh my God, Bardsma almost comes up with the interception on the backside of that. Zavala just trying to get the ball out at the end under heavy pressure from Oshevsky. I think Nick Dale on that as well.
So we're going to put it down at the 15. So another punt.
Bardsma almost looking for a pick six there.
I got an offensive touchdown. I need a defensive touchdown.
I'm inspired by Quinn Duhan, right? I mean, who isn't inspired by Quinn Duhan, who has touchdowns of a whole bunch of varieties, kickoff return, pick six, receiving and rushing touchdown this year, and that aforementioned Mach 5 lined up at the Warriors' 40-yard line. Let's see if we get one of those punt returns right now. These punts have been straight up in the air, and that is going to—
That's the best one.
Duhan's going to decide to take it and get some forward momentum and takes it out to the 40-yard line.
Looked like a shortstop for the Whitney Young Dolphins baseball team right there.
We got a whole bunch of them on this team. Luke Jolich and Logan Lopez, who checked in last week on the team, although I think I saw him on the sidelines in street clothes today. So
what, I put him on the roster and he's not playing today?
Well, and I'm, again, just that was me pregame trying to see who. I saw Bennett DuRoss was in street clothes. We hope to see him back soon. And I think Logan as well. And we were trying to figure out who Logan was last week. He came in, he was in DuRoss's spot at that outside linebacker position, and for his first game, did a really nice job. So Dolphins take over here inside the 38-yard line of the Warriors. Again, 10-0 here. No scoreboard. Oh, it's flashing. So we're just going to say it's second quarter somewhere or another. Conrad keeping it himself. Swarmed under by the right-hand side, left-hand side of that defensive line. I think, again, it was Jeremiah Jordan in there.
Well, give or take, Barry, we'll call it 6.5 minutes right now.
You're gonna keep that
we'll try.
that time?
We'll try.
Old school?
Yep.
A little pocket stopwatch?
Counting in my head. Counting in my head, talking. I think the Dolphins right now, though, the inside runs just aren't there because of the type of defense that Westinghouse plays. They need to get something on the edge, either a quick pitch, little screen pass, something out to Barry Gordon right here. He's got 2 blockers out there. Something to get to the edge.
Yeah, I sure like the screen game. It's not something that is utilized very often, but last week worked well to Maxwell Warner. Conrad pulls it back. Now gets it out to Duhan, I think. Incomplete pass.
Yep,
Skipped it in there a little short. Duhan had a really nice game last week. I think 5 receptions.
Yeah, Vaughn just didn't get his feet set there. Tried to throw it hard, but got over top of it, threw it into the ground at Barry Gordon's feet.
But I'll say this, Dolphins leading 2-0 right now with the way the defense has been playing. We talked about Conrad's maturation throughout the course of the year. He pulled that thing back. He thought he had something, but he clearly saw it wasn't there, pulled it down, and went for a safe out route to Duhan. So 3rd and long. Again, you're in Warriors territory here.
Yeah, no need to put your defense in jeopardy. Keep playing the way you're playing.
Scott Meir in motion. Getting out to Scott Meir. They tried that pass last week as well to Duhan, and it's just such a tough angle. And I don't know if it's a wheel route that needs to get upfield
further
more, or it's an out route that you need to turn around the other way and give a target. But
yeah, because even if Scott Moore catches it, he's running at the sideline and at full speed.
Yeah, you got to drop that thing in perfectly the way it was set up there. And both last week and this week, a little too much air under it for the junior quarterback Conrad.
They're going to go for it here, Barry, on 4th down.
So 4th and long, need to get inside the 30-yard line. Conrad, he's got 2 receivers top and bottom. He's got Jolich in the backfield. He's got time. He's thrown it downfield. Nice pitch and catch. Bardsma again. Bardsma still on his feet inside the 15-yard line. That combo, Conrad to Bardsma, has been
working.
in fuego.
Well, I heard you guys talking last week that you had to find somebody other than Quinn Duhan who could catch the ball. Now all of a sudden 15 is becoming the favorite target and doing a really nice job catching the ball in traffic, spinning, picking up some yards after the catch.
Nice job. 4th down conversion for the Dolphins. Sets him up at the 20-yard line.
So 3 catches a day for Bardsma?
3 catches and a tutty.
And a pass breakup. Having a day, kid.
Having a day for the junior. Bunch formation receivers on the right. Pitch to Jolich out there. He sticks his foot in the ground and gets some positive yard behind the UN security force.
See, that's what I like right there, Barry. Do something different. You got to get this Westinghouse team to start moving laterally instead of just north and south, or in this field, east and west. But get him out there. You saw Jolich, he had to beat a defender, but was able to turn up and pick up 5 yards.
Good job on 1st down. Clock moving in our heads right now as
5:18
it's out on the scoreboard. Nice. I like how you threw that. 5:18-ish. Yeah, you know, okay, anyway, I'm not going to go on some deep, dark
Dude,
dive
I know
here.
you're having PTSD right now.
It's crazy. Handoff to Jolich. Jolich fighting with it. He's got 4 or 5 Warriors on his back, and he gets a 1st down inside the 10-yard line. There you go, Luke Jolich. Jolich came into today, 322 yards on the season with 7 touchdowns, averaging 5.9 a carry. He got more than 5.9 on that.
And goal, they're going to put the ball at about the, what do you want to say, 6, 5?
Yeah, it says, let's call it that. There used to be some yard markers on the field somewhere back when they had fullbacks.
But even that, Barry, that was a little counter action, right? So you got the Westinghouse defense flowing to the far sideline. Jolich cut it back in.
Jolich again doing a nice job putting his foot down in the end zone. Jolich, what a touchdown. Good job by the running back running behind, and we've seen that like every single play looked the same, right? Flowing, put the foot in the ground, got east and west, got east for the touchdown. Jolich, senior running back, gets on the board for his team-leading 8th touchdown on the season. 16-0 here. Doctors to doctors to doctors. Whistles goes off.
A little offsides, I think, there by Westinghouse.
So 16-0. We'll have to see if it is offsides and they move it up a yard here, what Coach Finger has in mind. A lot of times you roll out I know they were working on some red zone stuff. It was the one thing we didn't get to in the pregame. He talked about they were a little disappointed in their red zone offense last week and some of their goal line stuff. They worked on some things in practice, but I think here with the game situation again. So
now you're just being forced to go for it because they got stuffed on the goal line last week. They first 3 plays they ran the bro push.
Yep.
And then they tried to run. I think Luke. Here they go.
Well, we'll get to see what they're going to run.
So everybody's seen tape now or heard what you're going to do because you're running behind the UN security force. What can you run differently out of that little Duhan end round, something, get it on the edge with 10 guys packed in the box?
I got an idea, but we'll see if they execute it here. Can you see?
Alan Espinoza, right? Is that 30?
Yep, so. Yep.
33, who's 33?
Io Kunle, yep. Io Kunle, Alan Espinoza. checks in, probably at a tight end position. That's where he's played. You've got Adrian Del Villar in. So you got Duhan going to split wide to the top side. Conrad under center. We've got the fullback position in. Conrad just keeping it himself.
I mean, you needed 6 feet.
A whole bunch of eye candy on that. But at the end of the day, get behind the Serbian sledgehammer and get in the end zone for your 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I mean, that was 6 feet. So, you know, you just get behind Nick Dale and you're going to fall into the end zone. So, Barry, that drive 38 yards, 7 plays. We're going to say 4:26 on the clock, 2:34 on the drive because it's numbers. Luke Yolich from 6 yards out-ish. Everything's ish right now at Westinghouse. So this is the first half performance you wanted to see from the Dolphins. Quinn Duhan talking to the trainer.
Yeah, Duhan has been in and out a little bit here. Saw Rayton Scottmere taking some snaps on that last set of things. Mach 5, you know, it's tough when you're moving that fast to keep all your parts strapped in.
So I'm going to say there's 4:26 left in the half.
4:26 left in the half here. 18-0. Dolphins off to a early lead here. Chicago Public League Red Division game. There's your line shot that you wanted, Tony. Ball is going to roll out of bounds.
Give it to him on the 35. It'll be fine.
Again with Coach OD, Connor O'Donnell. 4 shutouts last year for that Whitney Young Dolphins team. 4 shutouts this year.
And right now, the Westinghouse still in negative yardage situation for the game. So this Dolphin defense has been defending the deep ball very well.
Yeah, I mean, take it to the last 6 quarters. I think this team has given up a grand total of 2 first downs. I think Amundsen was only able to manage 2 first downs last week, and I think you've got Westinghouse at a grand total of 0 right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough last week when your offense gets the ball and holds it for literally an entire football quarter.
And that's, I mean, on the flip side, that's what Westinghouse has been able to do. In their game against Peyton, they had a drive that their opening drive went 12 plays, of which they ran the ball 11 times for a touchdown. And then to seal that win, they went 17 plays, 96 yards.
Wow.
14 of those runs with Devion Cross, who has the ball right now, taking on 14 of those. So Cross gets across the 40-yard line on that.
Probably their best play of the game.
And they are going to try to pick up the pace here.
But even he had a Dolphin defender hanging on him from the line of scrimmage.
Zavala, the QB, again to Cross. Good job on that side. Let's see who's on the bottom of that. Good penetration by Rayton Scottmere. Scottmere just makes plays. I think he's checked in right now for Yolich. Yolich taking some time on the sideline, but you do not lose this linebacker, right here. From Alex Dale, Sam Wyatt, to guys like Clayton. There's Cross. Again, held short, no gain.
And
again, I think Rayton Scottmere on that. Scottmere and Adrian Del Villar, I think, from his line position came over and cleaned that up.
And Scottmere was huge in not letting the running back Cross fall forward.
So 4th down, they've got to get across the 45-yard line. They're all lined up like they're going to do a push on it.
Coach Carter called a timeout.
Coach Carter, Julius Carter, taking a timeout with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left here.
I got 3:02.
Okay, all right.
Well, who knows, but I got 3:02. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, this is a game where, again, because the clock is out, deja vu, but with the score 18-0, it may actually move a little bit quicker. If you've got afternoon plans, if you want to try to check in on that Miami of Ohio versus Ohio Battle of the Bricks going on down in Oxford, Ohio right now.
So interesting defensive formation last time. They had Duhan still as a safety, but inside the tackles, one-on-one to the top of the screen Ricks and I don't know if it was Latham. Looks like Andrew Latham.
So you got Latham.
So change the formation.
Safeties. Oshevsky's going to check in on the middle of that line.
So they're going tight this time.
Westinghouse has really struggled on that center quarterback exchange. We'll see if that impacts anything here. 4th down, Warriors trying to dial up their first down of the day. Zavala under center with the pitch to Cross, and he's dropped by Mach 5. Duhan came across, took out Cross at the ankles.
I think the side judge on this side has it short, but the far judge is standing on the 45. So if it touches a big line, it's a 1st down.
And we are at Westinghouse.
So was Zavala moving before that ball was snapped? I mean, it looked like he had 2 steps in before he caught the football.
So maybe you're going to bring the chains over
to
take a measurement here. But I know
you shouldn't have to.
There's a big line out there.
Because the ball started on the 35 because the kickoff went out of bounds.
Yep.
So if the ball's touching the 45, it's a 1st down.
You got a view of that? Let me see.
I got nothing.
I got some.
There's a pod of Dolphins in the way. But yeah, I don't understand the measurement on this. It either is or isn't.
Tony, it's Chicago Public
He's going to break out ref's going to break out his credit card.
Exactly.
Put it in between the.
I don't even see where oh yeah, it's down in front of us here, and you're right. It's no, it's not. It doesn't get to the line.
Well, so then it shouldn't be I mean, I know where the ball started.
So as long as this isn't girls flag football, which we will talk about, and we'll have to try to see if we can get a score. The Whitney Young Dolphins right now in the state semifinals when we were on our way here.
I mean, I know Coach Finger is slightly biased, but he had an instant no good.
All right, I see that maybe we had some camera issues. We may try to switch out something at halftime here. I think we'll have
short.
to ask.
Dolphins are saying short.
Dolphins ball. Juan Cepeda making sure we knew which direction it was heading.
So I got 2:54, Barry, on the.
All right, so
on the unofficial clock.
Warriors still without a 1st down here. Ball comes over on downs to the Dolphins, who have last drive were just able to methodically move it downfield.
And now they put the ball on the 45.
The other side. Yeah. They just
if I was Coach Carter, I want to remeasure because that's a 1st down.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Yeah, they moved the ball the other way like it was a change of quarters or something like that. And now the
ball goes on the other side of the 45.
Referee is coming in. I think you might change.
The umpire's staring down at the ball like it's going to move on its own.
So 18-0 here. Given the time, we might see a little 2-minute drill. Always good to work on these things as well.
And the Dolphins get the ball to start the 2nd half too, Barry.
So Jolich, who had the touchdown on the last possession. You're running back.
You're starting to get to the point where
left-hand side of Conrad.
You're starting to, Coach Carter's saying, "Dude, what are you doing to me?" So I don't even remember what I was going to say. Sorry.
Now there's some conversations, and that's exactly what he's
saying.
There
now they moved it inside the 45.
Yeah, it was strange. It was like he's like, oh, switch of possessions. It was like a switch of a quarter. Oh, we're just going to move it all over on the other side of the ball. Either way, Coach Carter probably not happy with where the spot was, although it was a great tackle by Duhan, who knifed in there from his safety position.
So I was going to say, Westinghouse has been out here on defense a lot, Barry. Yep. Every drive for the offense has been 3 and out, and you got a lot of guys going both ways. There's still 54. The nose tackle is like, what do we got here?
This is taking a whole lot of time. I do think I see we're spinning a little bit, so we might try to switch out the to the other hot spot to see if that helps us out at all. Might do that at halftime.
I'm not sure what the conversation's about. I don't see the white hat.
Hey, I'm going to just jump right behind you here, Tony.
So White Hat's still talking to Coach Carter. They're talking to some people on the Westinghouse sideline. He's coming back out. Dolphins offense is on the field ready to go. We're going to say there's 2 minutes and 54 seconds left in this second quarter, but that is highly unofficial. The ball rests just inside the 45-yard line. Quick pass out of bounds, caught by Quinn Duhan that time. Just a quick out route to Quinn. Ball's going to be put down at the 39, so right, second and 5 for you, Barry.
Pickup of 5 yards on that first down play. And Conrad has a touchdown pass. He's been hooking up with Bardsma, hooked up with Duhan 5 times last week. Duhan leads this Dolphin squad right now with 17 catches on the year, 238 yards. Conrad, under pressure, is able to avoid and get back about to the line of scrimmage. Again, the Warriors are not afraid to blitz the house on this. Vaughn did a good job of getting his head down and avoiding the first onrush. Then was probably a loss of 2, so call it a sack. And with the clock running somewhere right now, 3rd down and long.
There's
whistles blow.
So Barry, on that last one, the Dolphins were looking for pay dirt on that. He had Quinn on a fly route down the left sideline, and he was trying to go long, ducked under that first tackler, but couldn't get away from the second.
Offsides on the Warriors, so
I think
goes from a 3rd and long to a 3rd and short.
I think I saw the referee. No, here that was second. I don't know. I don't know if he's saying 2 minutes or 3rd down or what he's got going on.
So it is 3rd down because you had the Duhan pass, and then you had the sack on 2nd down, but then offside, so 3rd down and about 3.
So where's the line to gain?
Yeah, well, maybe just past the 35-yard line in theory.
Maybe.
Conrad, the quarterback. Jolich to his left-hand side. Warriors look like they're going to dial up some pressure, which they do, which is picked up well. And pass rifled in to Duhan for a 1st down. Really nice job by the junior QB Conrad. Again, when he wants to let it rip in there,
he gears it up, man.
Good job, and Dolphins going to keep their foot on the gas here as we are somewhere close to the end of the first half. Rolling to his left, looking, got Duhan a block. So good first down pickup. Conrad flipping it over to Duhan for the catch.
They're going to put
Pickup
it down
of
at
about
the
5.
11. Yeah, they're going to put it down at the 11. No, the 21, right?
Yep, I think 21. Yep, 21-yard line. Dolphins got Williams and BG3 to the top. Bardsma and Duhan, your receivers closest to us. Jolich in the backfield as a personal protector. Gets a nice block in there, too. Incomplete pass, a little bit low for Duhan. So stops the clock.
Good job by the Dolphins today on 3rd down so far. Their conversion rate on the season just under 50%. So we'll see what they dial up here. 3rd and 6. They've been willing to throw the ball.
Again, you're up 18-0. You've got Solomon Bradley. You are in Solomon. We're going to say we're in Solomon Bradley's range right now. Banged through a 44-yarder last week, a 39-yarder today. Ball at the 21. Duhan in motion, steps back. Jolich looking at Bardsma. Just overthrew him. A little bit of the eye candy going on. Bardsma sold it, went deep.
I think, did Bardsma not run through his route? Did he stop a little bit?
Well, as quarterback dads, absolutely. That's what we say.
100%.
Always the receiver. What are you doing on that route? Come on, man.
And it goes,
finish it off.
In this case, it's never 12's fault. Works all the way around.
That's right. We had a chance to see Paul Conrad pregame, 9-time Emmy Award-winning weather forecaster, father of Vaughn Conrad.
They're going to leave Solo on the bench, Barry.
Yep,
leave the offense on the field. 4th and about 6.
I think they liked a couple things that they saw. So get some protection here for Vaughn, which he has. Time in the pocket. Touchdown pass to Quinn Duhan.
Touchdown.
Duhan got up there. Awesome catch. Use those hands. Touchdown for the Dolphins.
We got an injured, holding
and
is coming back.
Flag down on the play.
Juan Cepeda is protesting vehemently. We got a Westinghouse player down, so they're going to bring it back. So it'll be 4th and 16. Take that beautiful play off the board.
Nice job on that play. Conrad saw the opening, put it high to Duhan. Duhan with a nice strong catch, but all for naught here.
All right, so Barry, here's the question. Right now it's about a 48-yard field goal.
48-yard field goal.
Quinn Duhan, deep safety. 2 receivers to the near side for Westinghouse. Zavala in the shotgun this time, cross to his right. He takes the snap, hands off the cross. Cross stacked up there by the Dolphins defense. This time MJ Woods, the primary tackler. A gain of about 4 back. Call it 5. 3rd and 8.
All right, I think we're having some technical problems. We try to switch some stuff up, and it looks like we might have a little better feed than what we had before. Let's hope we hang in there. Thanks, Tony.
Another timeout, not sure. I think the Dolphins took this timeout. So Westinghouse has punted 4 times today. None of them in the air have gone more than about 15 yards, a couple good bounces. So if Coach Finger's going to take these timeouts, you got to hope that he brings Duhan up. If they stop him here, let Duhan catch the ball and see what he can do and at least save some time. You got it?
I got it. I think so. Looking down, seems like we're all right.
I don't see Ricks. Ricks might be in the backfield with Cross. High snap.
Zavala.
Fake doesn't work. The chase is on for the Dolphins. Zavala trying to get outside. That is grounding.
Because it did not get back to
Didn't
the
get to
line of scrimmage.
It's got to be grounding, sir.
We'll see if they
Clock stops.
Get to that.
So in high school, you're allowed to throw the ball away, but it's still got to get to the line of scrimmage, which that did not. The line of scrimmage is the 22. That ball landed about the 19. So, rules.
Rules. So, Dolphin kick return, punt return unit back out there. Duhan corralled one last time on the bounce. Again, the kicks have all been pretty short. So one option is to get yourself up there and to get a fair catch. One option would be to block it. This is going to be neither of those options. Ball is going to roll out of bounds right at the 50-yard line. How convenient.
On the big line. Now, you want to guess how much time's left? We can have a pool, a little.
47 seconds.
Everybody can throw a quarter in, see what happens.
47 seconds left, maybe. Again, the clock is out here. If you're just tuning in, and the last time you tuned in was 2022.
And you have PTSD.
And you have PTSD. If you're the Clayton family. Or the Newman family. I'm still working through it. Got a lot of time and therapy.
The Dale family.
All right. Conrad leading his troops back out on the field. Again, a touchdown pass already to Bardsma. Looking to Bardsma or to Duhan. Duhan made a nice adjustment on the back end of that, but couldn't corral it. They had Bardsma short, Duhan long on that.
Just a couple pass plays where the ball, either the ball's on the wrong side or the receiver turned the wrong way. That could have been nice completions. Beautiful, beautiful route by Duhan right there on the sideline. Would have stopped the clock for about a 17, 18-yard pickup.
Here with 32 seconds left in the half.
Just counting it off in your head.
Ish. So Williams, BG3, Duhan to the top side. Bardsma, single coverage down on the bottom. Duhan in motion. Warriors looking for a blitz. Picked up well. Conrad throwing it deep to Bardsma. And had a little bit of, little bit of extra air underneath that. There's a flag down in the backfield.
We'll take that one on the wind, holding against the Dolphins.
Holding against the Dolphins. So we've seen 2 of those. One of the holding penalties wiped out a really nice touchdown pass from Conrad to Duhan.
So that'll be on the Young 41.
With 28 seconds left.
Man, this is only like the second time the ball's even been in Whitney Young territory.
And via the penalty. Last year, that was a crazy game out at Rockney where the Dolphins were flagged 15 times against the Westinghouse Warriors.
I'm serious. This is the first time the ball's been in Whitney Young territory. Because it was on that first punt, but there was a penalty.
Yep. Moved it forward. So Conrad, Duhan in motion. Conrad back to pass. Screen to the middle to Jolich. Jolich making some guys miss, gets it back across midfield into Warriors territory where we're much more comfortable with the ball. So good job, middle screen. I think they had a couple different options off of that. I think Dolphins taking a timeout here.
Last and final.
I haven't been marking those up. Trying to take care of other various sundry activities.
Keeping us on the air. Yep, Coach Finger called 2 on defense. Now that's his third and final. That play could have gone for big yards. Just one Westinghouse defender was able to bring Jolich down. So going to bring up a 3rd and 10, but the Dolphins have had some success today on 3rd and 4th down.
That they have. Good to see Jack Wildermuth.
He looks all relaxed. Is he keeping the bingo card? Have we hit? Where are we on the bingo card?
Bingo card? Is this longer than Corliss?
It's trending that way. This is.
It all depends.
This quarter's been really long.
We're like, look at our representation of the live stream. We got Wildermuth here. We got
Quinn,
the Godfather
Duhan,
here. We got Duhan over there. Duhan, like, you see how he works his way closer to us?
He wants the mic.
Exactly. I can't get Wally pipped here.
He's going to get the 4th quarter mic.
Reverse. There's a little reverse to Duhan. Duhan gets the edge. Duhan with a cut. Still on his feet. Akron, baby, inside the 20-yard line.
He probably could have gotten out of bounds there, so now they got to go fast, Barry. Not sure how much time's on the clock. You get the clock to
stop until they get the chains.
That might have been it. That was the last play of the quarter. That was it.
We'll have to collect all of the information here, but it looks like, the Dolphins are heading down. That's why he didn't go out of bounds. He's like, hey,
I got to score.
I got to score. Got to get things done. So great first half of football there for the undefeated Whitney Young Dolphins here in Week 8. Up 18-0 over the Westinghouse Warriors.
Can we talk about that play for a second?
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to give you more PTSD, but you go back to the Kenwood game. That was the same play they fumbled on. Somebody's got to work on the blocking on that side because Quinn was hitting the backfield as he was getting the ball from Jolich, and it almost ended up on the ground again. So someone on that right side needs to block somebody as we run that play because it takes a little bit extra time. Duhan's speed that time just made it happen. But it was the same exact play with the same exact initial result as the Kenwood game.
All right, Tony, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start into the halftime. Can you think you could, I'm just going to, Remy won't be like, Remy will be mad. I'm going to like,
you say
union stuff. Yeah, I just moved the camera, sorry.
It's a union gig.
Just thought we would watch the Dolphins during halftime.
Eat their
oranges. Right now the coaches meeting at the 25-yard line. Can you do me a favor and see if you can find a flag football score?
I'm on it right
now. But don't. I'm gonna bury that lead now. All right. I'm gonna do this like it was waking up this morning. So the flag football Whitney Young Dolphins first year of a state competition. I know, Tony, you know flag football well. Your daughter played over at Lane. You live streamed some of those games. So state championship, Whitney Young Dolphins. If you all were with us a couple weeks ago, you got to meet Hayden Petroulis, the starting quarterback on that team, who also plays on the tackle football team. Hayden leading the Dolphins into sectionals this week. A win over Lions, 29-14 in the semifinals, and then a convincing 24-6 win over King in the sectional finals sent them to state, which is played out at Willowbrooks. So they state quarterfinals last night. They took on Willowbrooks, the host Willowbrooks. I'm not sure if they were the number 1 seed or number 2 seed.
They were a 2 seed in their section.
All right, so I got a chance. I tuned in on it. It was live streamed. I had to turn the volume down. There was no Tony McHale on the live stream, but let me give you some of the highlights. So Dolphins got on the board first. Hayden hooked up with Denise Mahay for a 55-yard completion, set the Dolphins up in a goal-to-go situation. And on 4th down, Hayden dropped a dime to Dee Dudley for the score, putting up 6-0. Point after was no good, so they're up 6-0. Willowbrook's answered immediately with a touchdown, marched right down the field. Dolphins were they were playing all back. They weren't rushing anybody on the Willowbrooks quarterback. That was something that they quickly changed around. So defensive tightened up. They were down 8-6 at that point. Nina Lloyd came up with an interception. Then first offensive possession, and these games go fast. So it's a rolling clock at 20 minutes, right? It doesn't stop until 1 minute left in the half. So first possession of the second half, down 8-6. Dolphins drove all the way down to the Willowbrook 5-yard line, but were turned away. But then the defense stayed strong. London Higginbottom came up with a really nice 4th down pass breakup. They got the ball back for Whitney Young with 8:03 left, which again isn't a whole lot of time, right? That clock's moving. Looked like that drive was stalling out. They had gotten into Willowbrook's territory. On 3rd down, Hayden got sacked, brought up 4th and 13. So 4th and 13, you got to get a pass downfield. Again, blitz came from Willowbrooks. Hayden did a really nice job, sidestepped the rusher, and then just headed upfield. 4th and 13 conversion, Hayden Petrulis getting that first down. And then a couple short passes, capped off by a 4-yard touchdown pass to Arden Rubenstein for the go-ahead score. Then they tacked on 1 for the point after, also to Rubenstein. So that puts them up 13-8 with less than 2 minutes to play. Willowbrooks had all their timeouts left, so they throw an interception. Willowbrooks throws an interception. Nina Lloyd with her 2nd of the game. They were able to use all their timeouts, so Dolphins end up giving the ball back to the Warriors again, but then Kennedy Glover with the dagger of an interception, giving the Whitney Young Dolphins the win in the quarterfinals. They move down to semifinals this afternoon. Tony?
Well, let's just build it a little bit more. So Fremd, which is in Palatine, was in the first semifinal against
Bradley
Bourbonnais. In a nail-biter, Fremd advances to the final 16-14. So that took us to the second semifinal featuring your Whitney Young Dolphins against the Guilford Aardvarks from Rockford.
We know that it was 0-0 at half, or close to half. And then it was, and then you said
6-0.
6-0.
And that's how it ended.
So 6-0, Rockford, Guilford.
The Dolphins took it on the chin in the semifinal, but
they're a third place game.
But they came back in the consolation game for 3rd place in the first ever IHSA state championship for girls flag football and destroyed the Aardvarks 35-8.
35-8. Hayden put it on the board, baby.
Whitney Young beat Bradley Bourbonnais 35-8 to finish 3rd in the first ever IHSA girls football state championship. So congratulations to the Dolphins.
Congratulations to Coach Valerie Spann and the Dolphins. Again, a lot of big time. Hayden Petrulis came into the weekend with 27 touchdowns on the year, so she's well over 30. I know her favorite target, Dee Dudley, I believe, had over 80 receptions on the year. That defense, I talked about Lloyd, I talked about Higginbottom, I talked about Glover. Jemiah Hamilton today had back-to-back sacks. They just played some great football. So much fun to watch them, and a heck of an accomplishment. School of Champions going to be able to put up another 3rd place
bring another
state
plaque
on the wall. Awesome job. Dolphins, let's pivot over to soccer.
Soccer. All right, what do you got for soccer?
So I was a little confused last week.
This is crazy, dude, when you tell this story. This is going to be nuts.
Do you know part of the story?
I've heard part of this story.
Oh, man. So, and actually, if you're a huge soccer fan, I would actually encourage you to go to chicagolandsoccer.org to read the full story, which is really, really well done, and a lot of interviews with both Lane and Whitney Young. So that was a city championship. I was a little confused last week. I was thinking that we won it. We actually didn't win it. We were in the city championship against Lane. Rolling in from a state perspective, Lane ranked number 24, Whitney Young ranked number 19. Whitney Young looking for their first city championship since 2009. Lane got out to an early 1-0 lead. Young evened it at 1-1 on a goal from midfielder Leo Antonowitz. I think I'm going to go with that. Antonowitz, assisted by Sam Henley. Henley, one of the senior captains from down in Beverly. Antonowitz, Lane then, second half, started strong. They scored right out of the gates. And then again at the 50-minute mark, so they are up 3-1, which in soccer is pretty darn commanding. Antonowitz got the Dolphins within 1 goal, scoring on an assist from John Stanton in the 59th minute. And then with 1:11 left in the match, Stanton tied the game up at 3-3 with Curtis Jackson assisting on it. They played 2 overtime periods. Both those things ended up scoreless, so it went to overtime penalty kicks. And the Dolphins and Lane, first round, both successful. Second round, both kicks successful. Third round, fourth round, fifth round, both kicks successful. Fifth round, a Whitney Young miss. But Tommy Lyons, Dolphin keeper and co-captain, comes up with a huge save to keep it going. So then they go back to penalty kicks again. 7, 8, 9, 10. In the 10th round, both keepers took penalty kicks. Both of them buried their kicks. And then in the 11th round, after a Whitney Young miss, Lane keeper Evan Burgess made a spectacular kick save, and Lane prevails on the Benicio Lacerda winner.
That's insane. 11 rounds of penalty kicks to decide the city championship.
Just amazing. And I think, it was, and that's why I really go to chicagolandsoccer.org and read it, because the quotes from both sides, I think there was just a tremendous amount of respect from everybody that played in that game, the competition that went on, and then the play that was done. So Chicagoland men of the match went to John Stanton and Whitney Young and Grayson Trenter of Lane.
It'll be great to see what those two teams do in the state playoffs now that start this Monday and Tuesday.
Yep, exactly. So Whitney Young's back in action as the number 4 seed in the Class 3A Revis Sectional. They have an opening game against 13-seeded Downers Grove North on the 23rd of October. Again, Stanton leads that team with 18 goals and 13 assists, and Tonowitz has 17 goals and 12 assists. They got off to a little bit of a slow start to the season, and they have just been absolutely rolling since then. A few other things, and I searched around because I think all these teams, but some of it I can share for next week. Volleyball, City is on, the varsity team is on to city quarterfinals. They beat Kennedy 2-0 this week. Sophomore team on to city semifinals. They beat Northside Prep 2-0 this week. Also wanted, we're nearing basketball season here.
Fast, very fast.
Very fast to both the high school, and we talked to Coach Slaughter a couple weeks ago, and also the NBA. Notable on the NBA side of things with the Chicago Bulls. Bulls have 2 players who either will be on the active roster, probably a G League roster, 2 Whitney Young alums. You got Javon Freeman Liberty, who played last year with the Raptors. He of Valpo and DePaul fame. He was All-State at Whitney Young and led that team to a state championship in 2017 and the state finals in 2018. So you got Javon Freeman Liberty, and you got DJ Stewart.
And I think the crazy number, right, is there's currently on the roster there's 7 kids.
7 kids
who played high school basketball in
Illinois. So Freeman Liberty and Stewart from Whitney Young. Asayo Desumu from Morgan Park, so 2 state championships.
He's kind of good.
He's kind of good. He went to Illinois. My actually favorite player, other than the Whitney Young guys, Javon Carter, complete dog. Love that guy. Plays some really gritty defense at point guard. He is a Proviso East guy. One of their draft picks from this year, Matas Buzelis?
Good luck with that.
Yeah, Buzelis, I think, right? Hinsdale Central, although he then went
for a cup of coffee
somewhere else. Yep. I think he played his freshman year.
IMG, right?
One of those things. Talon Horton Tucker, a Simeon guy. Lakers and Jazz in the past with the Bulls this year. And also E.J. Lydell, who went to Belleville West, who downstate back-to-back state titles, player of the year twice, played at Ohio State. And it's kind of fitting to talk about this because we're here at Westinghouse and we talk about the Whitney Young, and you got the Quentin Richardsons and the Jaleel Okafors of the world. Westinghouse, if you go back a little bit further, Mark Aguirre,
dogs, man,
right?
Yep.
Mark Aguirre, Hersey Hawkins, Eddie Johnson were all Westinghouse guys when Chicago was just, and still cranking out a lot of that talent. At least that talent stayed in the city,
DePaul,
stayed
right?
with those things. Yeah, so you had Aguirre went on to DePaul, playing alongside Terry Cummings, who went to Carver High School. and they just dominated in the I think their early 80s.
Until March.
Until March, right?
Sorry. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did. You did. It's all right. Few other things. Congratulations to Ricky Harris. I don't know if did you see this?
No, I didn't.
Elected to the IHSA Board of Directors.
Congratulations. That's is that a job that anybody really wants?
I'm not sure. Yeah, congratulations might be a dubious word to use, but happy to have Ricky Harris, who does so many things so well at Whitney Young, heading down there. I got to get some of my bingo card things, and you know who he joins on the Board of Directors?
No.
Dwayne Bates. You know Dwayne Bates?
No.
Dwayne Bates was a
Northwestern guy?
wide receiver at Northwestern. You know where Dwayne Bates had his first touchdown catch?
No, in Green Bay at Lambeau Field.
No, his first collegiate catch was in a 17-15 win by the Northwestern Wildcats over your Notre Dame Irish back in the 1994 season. That was when Coach Gary Barnett got the Wildcats on the winning path. So Dwayne Bates, All-American receiver, got drafted by the Bears in the 3rd round. Like any Bears receiver, nobody could get him the ball.
But that's not their fault.
That's no. And then went to the Vikings, had a nice career. But kind of cool, he's at Glenbard East as their athletic director, and he's also on the IHSA Board of Directors.
So Dr. Kenner was on the IHSA board for a long time too. So it might just be the Dolphin spot.
All right. So let's talk about Public League. Again, talk about Whitney Young on top of the leaderboard along with Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park also undefeated at 5-0. They play at 5 o'clock tonight. They go against Amundsen at Lane. Again, we saw Amundsen last week. They're at 1-4, but, man, they're a better team than that. That could be a good game. You got Taft, who won last night. Pretty big win over Clark at Taft, 42-7. You got Morgan Park, also in at 6-0. Morgan Park took care of Brooks last night, 62-0.
Ouch.
And then Simeon playing today versus Johnson down at Gately. So Simeon looking to push their record to 6-0 in the red division, 7-1 overall. The other teams that are lurking. So when we talk about playoffs, I talked to Coach Finger earlier this week, and always a little bit of an algorithm going on here. So we'll remind everybody, here's the way it works. Chicago Public League is going to have an 8-team playoff, right? That all starts on week 11, right? 11 of the season. Week 10 is this first round of state playoffs. Whitney Young is already qualified. Lincoln Park is already qualified. Taft is qualified. Morgan Park is qualified. Simeon will be qualified after today for sure. All those teams going, plus you probably have Peyton, if they get another win, they could be in the mix for that. Westinghouse, Noble, all those teams on the fringe of being able to get in.
Kenwood's going to need some help.
Kenwood will need a little bit of help. Kenwood right now they're 2-5 overall, so they got to run the table.
But you remember, Naz got in with 4 wins last year.
Naz got in with 4. They got in with 4 wins the last 2 years and won state championships the last 2 years behind Malachuk, Logan Malachuk, who I think had 5 or 6 touchdowns last night in their win. But anyway, what Coach Finger explained to me is that as a city team, if you win your first round game, great, you stay in state. You win your second round game, then you're in state the rest of the way out, right? So then you're going to just advance on the state side. On the city side of things, again, that schedule starts week 11, and it will start with 8 teams. Those 8 teams could be white division teams that join red division teams that have been knocked out of the state playoffs. So week 11 will be quarterfinals, week 12 semifinals, week 13 finals. You saw the Whitney Young Dolphins play Kenwood last year in the Chicago Public League finals. So if things don't go the way you want them to on the state side, which Tony and I talked pregame, it's a little early to, even though we're in week 8, a little early to understand the way those brackets will work out.
Yeah, you need a degree in physics to figure out how those brackets work out.
But at the Whitney Young will be at the 7A level. Lincoln Park will be at the 7A level. Both of those schools are about 2,000 students. You'll have Taft, which will be at 8A. They drew the tough Lincoln Way East draw last year, but they'll be a heck of a lot better position this year. Last year, they also got in with 4 wins. Simeon, I think, is what, 5A?
I think Simeon and Morgan Park are 5.
5. We'll have to see. Those are kind of like 5 and 6 in that range of things. If we have a couple more minutes here. I know the ball is teed up, and
Clock's not on.
Dolphins are going to, the clock is not on, nor will it be on. We will just, again, the clock is out here. But around the Chicagoland area last night, all is good in the world. Mount Carmel, led by Jack Elliott, their Vandy commit quarterback, took down Fenwick 35-18. Fenwick, of course, led by Nate Marshall, one of the top recruits in the state, who is going to Auburn, at least for now. Marshall, an edge rusher, but also playing some at wide receiver, 6'4", 265-pounder, Nate Marshall. Their only loss prior to that was to Joliet Catholic, but Fenwick drops 2 losses. Lions over York, so number 7
upset,
Lions.
yeah.
Yep. Upset in that Lions hasn't won a conference championship since my senior year of high school.
Wow.
My last year of playing football, which was 1987. Everybody.
Face masks? No,
You had just leather helmets and very large shoulder pads and the neck.
You have a neck roll?
Oh, I had a neck roll, absolutely. I had so many pads on. It was surprising that I could even, I barely made it up and down the field. But anyway, Lions moving on with a 24-7 win over York. And then, which game I would have loved to see, Edwardsville and East St. Louis. So taking us outside of the Chicagoland area. East St. Louis, who had taken down Loyola first game of the year, took down Edwardsville last night, 14-7. Edwardsville, of course, led by the number 1 prospect in the state, Yossi Espinosa. If you recognize that name, if you're an Iowa Hawkeyes fan, that's Espinosa's son, also A.J. Espinosa's brother. There's a kickoff, not fielded well. Dockett ushered to the turf just outside the 20-yard line.
So real quick, at the half, Illinois leads Michigan 13-7.
All right, so
friends of the program.
We and again we mentioned it. We got Harrison Gassa playing with the Illini right now, making his way up the depth chart as a freshman edge rusher. Joe Barna, who we saw last year out of Wheaton North, is getting a bunch of time there. Haven't seen a whole lot of Malik Elzy, who's from Simeon. He had a touchdown catch in their first game, but haven't seen him back in the stats since then. So Conrad taking over here, handoff. Oof. Whoa! Clotheslined and ripped down in the backfield. I think that was Max Warner.
It was. I hope he's still Max Warner. have we had conversation about changing up the snap count? Why do we always go on 1?
They're just teeing off at this point.
They're just, that was complete snap count beat, and you got to do something because a lot of these teams will jump off sides. Bennett Newman, the master at hard count, getting kids to jump off sides, just change it to 2, 3. You got a senior-led offensive line. They'll keep their spots.
So UN security force out there. Conrad. Might have been movement, but they didn't call it. Nice job, Bardsma wide open. Bardsma doing a really nice job of racking run after catch. You saw that in the first half with his touchdown. You saw it last week with his touchdown. There, he caught it about the 25 and kept his feet moving, kept spinning. Puts the Dolphins in a extremely makeable 3rd and about 3 yards. So Bardsma, who came in to the day
with 2 catches.
With 2 catches on the year for 23 yards and a touchdown. He's got, 4 already today?
Yep.
So Duhan, Bardsma, your receivers to the left.
Oh, there you go. There you go. See, they're just – all you got to do is hold the ball for a second because they're just blitzing on every play.
Tony –
I know they're high school kids.
You are
Barry.
the godfather, man.
I know they're high school kids.
We're well aware that the coaching staff, you think that they are talking to, you think they have the headsets on and they're talking up to their guys in the booth. They're actually listening to the live stream right now.
Instead of, right.
Yeah, and they said, hey, Tony McHale said, change up the snap count.
Always remember, there's a reason I'm up here and not down there. It's easy up here.
All right, so first down on that penalty.
Just look, there's 7 kids coming right now.
Yep, BG3 in motion. Yolich stopped after a minimal gain.
There's just the edge is wide open.
Yep.
Right, they had 7 kids on the line of scrimmage, all chomping at the bit.
So you're saying don't run the ball up the middle.
Don't run the ball where the 7 kids are.
Yep, let's get the ball to the edge. They've been able to pass block really well for Conrad today.
Well, just get 3 guys on. Well, the ball's closer to the left hash. 3 guys to the top of the screen. Wide receiver screen. You have 2 blockers. It'll go for a touchdown.
Yep, there
right
you go.
Now. I call for a touchdown.
Your 3 guys are heading out there.
Will
DeMille, Duhan in the slot. BG3 as the tight end. Conrad waiting for it. Inside handoff to Maxwell Warner. Warner gets the edge over the 40-yard line. First, I thought there was a flag there, but I think
they're throwing the football on the other side.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we picked up here. So good edge, got to the edge. Maxwell Warner working out there outside of the blocks of Pericini and Cepeda.
What are we doing?
I'm not quite sure. Got kind of quiet here. We're just waiting for Conrad to get the play back in. Long conversation with Boucher. Oh, there's a player down. Is there a player down?
No, I think he's just on a knee. Defensive lineman on a knee.
So yeah, it was sort of strange. All of a sudden there was
a hush.
A hush fell over the audience here, which is really nicely attended. It is senior day for Westinghouse, but also a really good contingent of Whitney Young Dolphin fans out here supporting their undefeated Dolphins. Handoff to Warner. That goes up the middle and for a first down.
But just enough of a counter.
Yes,
you had
exactly.
Warner going to the
Head
right.
to the right.
Came back
to the left. Put his foot
in
the ground and to the left. Got a seal block in there, possibly from Oshesky or MJ Woods on the left-hand side.
And there's a flag on the play.
Ah, so that was a flag this time.
But it's way over there. Why are you calling? I mean, the play was all the way to the left-hand side of the formation. The line judge on the right side threw the flag. There's nothing that affected the play over there.
So
but it looks like it's going to be against the Dolphins. 3 holding calls, right?
Holding, yep. Holding call going to bring this back.
So 3rd and 13.
So first drive here of the second half. We got scoreboard out, but on your screen showing the correct score, which is 18-0. Again, first half touchdowns.
Not
Bardsma touchdown catch.
So we're going to put it at the 32. So 3rd and
12. Again, Dolphins have had some success.
But there's no way that whatever that holding call was affected a play that came to the B gap on the left side of the formation. You can't call that. Right? Otherwise, it would be the Corliss game. We'd have 10 holding penalties.
So Conrad, 2 receivers top and bottom. Duhan in motion. Conrad back to pass. A lot of time. Got BG3 over here on the side. Short gain. Just picks up 2 or 3. So punting unit going to come out.
But it's good to see everybody getting involved in this passing game right now. Not just Quinn Duhan.
Yep, so we've seen Bardsma again. Touchdown catch today. A few others. Jolich with the touchdown run.
Terry Ricks standing at the 45-ish.
Conrad with the 2-point conversion on that. And Solomon Bradley with the 39-yard field goal. There's Bradley, just hammers one. Gets over the top of Ricks deep. That ball is going to roll dead inside the 20-yard line. So again, Bradley, who's averaging 31 yards a punt, but has come up with some big ones this year. A 57-yarder earlier against Kenwood, that was huge.
We'll call that a 47-yarder.
47-yard punt. Turns it over to the defensive unit, which has been stifling, to say the least, today against the Warriors offense.
Here's your number. First half total offense for Westinghouse. You care to take a guess?
34 yards.
-8.
-8 or -8.
Because they lost 19 on that very first possession.
Yeah, on the snap that went over there. So Westinghouse trying to get some things going here. They've got Cross as a running back. That's Cross trying to get something going, but brought down. Again, tough for our angle here. Look like Jolich, probably Jolich, and I just say Jolich on that. I'm just going to check out our lineup here, making sure I know who's all out there.
It looks like they put Ricks in the backfield now. They've taken him out of as a wide receiver.
They do a lot of that.
He's far
so
out
Ricks runs a lot from the slot as well. There's an inside run to Cross. Cross doing a nice job, picking up some positive yards.
Still going to bring up third down. Third down about a yard.
So Dolphins do have a few. Let's see if I'm going to check some numbers here. Looks like Solomon Bradley is in at a corner. Joseph Gray, Jolich are your linebackers. Dolphins also, looks like they've, Maxwell Warner is sort of playing in a safety position in the middle of the field. Ball on the ground, but picked back up and wrestled down. That was Maxwell Warner coming flying in. So Warner sort of, I guess with the way they're playing that bunch formation, I'm going to try to get our setup here. So you still have Bardsman in a corner. You got Duhan. I think Warner might have slid over to, well, now he's in his corner position.
So fourth
I
and
think,
two.
I think who you have in, actually no, Warner is back in a safety position. So Latham is out. They try to run it up the middle, and I think it stopped short. They're
gonna get it.
marking a first down. So side judge called a first down. That was a 4th and about 2. Warriors were able to hammer it up the middle.
They put it down at the 30.
All right, so sun maybe getting a little bit better for us to be able to see some of these numbers. So Zavala, the quarterback, Cross next to him. That's an inside handoff to Ricks. That's Solomon Bradley forcing the issue, and then Ricks hammered down hard.
Yeah, that's a tough formation to run that out of because there was no wide receiver on that side to force Bradley to back off. So he just stood there and waited for Ricks to come to him, made a nice tackle, waited for Duhan and friends to come from the inside and put him on the ground. So that was never going to go very far.
So good job. That was also Warner on the run fill there. So second down. Zavala back, rolls, throws it deep. One-handed grab.
Oh, my goodness.
Have yourself a day, Miles Bardsma.
You just got mossed.
Holy cow. I hope we got that one because that was about as good as it gets, man. A one-handed
Call
interception.
ESPN right now.
They're all doing the head tap there. Zavala launched it deep. Bardsma had great position and then just went up, one-handed that thing over the top of the Warriors receiver for the interception.
Man, oh man, what a catch.
I hope the Bardsma family is in the house and watching this because holy cow, Miles Bardsma, have yourself a day.
Cramping up a little bit on the sideline. Great position. Westinghouse sends 2 receivers deep every time.
Yeah, they just run those fly routes. Conrad with the ball over. Hand off to Jolich. Jolich looking for a spot, still on his feet, across the 50. Still going inside the 40. He's got a Warrior guy trying to get him down, and he's just spinning around to the 20-yard line. Awesome run by Jolich. Looked like he was going down, but just kept his feet churning. You're going to get
50? I'm going to give it 50.
After contact?
50 total. We'll give it, because it looks like they put the ball on a 22. So 51.
Dolphins trying to go in a hurry here. Warner checks in as a running back. Warner taking the ball. Warner looking for a spot, bounces it outside, turns it back up. Nice gain by Maxwell Warner. A little thunder and thunder action from the Dolphins backfield. That was a heck of a run by Jolich. I mean, he stuck his foot in the ground. We're going back 2 plays ago, but then he was almost down. It was like he was just churning, and then the Warriors, the defender just could not bring him down. He carried him another 25 yards.
So that was a first down from Warner.
So first down at about the 14-yard line. Conrad handoff to Warner. Warner dropped in the backfield. Not a whole lot there. So Warriors have been able, on a few of these inside runs, have been able to take care of business, but Jolich and Maxwell Warner this time down the field are having their way.
So it looks like he lost a yard on that, Barry. But
So
this is where you like to see Von Conrad, if he has the permission on this zone read to pull that out. It's wide open if he goes out around the right side of the Dolphins offensive line.
Yep, so BG3 and Duhan to the top side.
I mean, there's nobody there. There's one defensive back.
Jonathan Ijimakin in. There's a handoff to Warner, following his blockers nicely, but ushered out of bounds. Looked like he was ushered out of bounds there by, could have been Keyshawn Davis.
Coach Carter and the referee have had more conversations in this football game than. Looks like they gave
18
him
to nothing here.
No gain there on that one, Barry.
All right, 18 to nothing here in the third quarter.
And that's 2 times they've run to the short side. So I'm not sure what they see on the short side that they like, but if they take this wide.
Bardsma heading to the top. So Bardsma checks back in after that amazing interception.
I think he told Vaughn already that he's open.
Bardsma one-on-one. That's where he's going. Nice inside slant route. Conrad to Bardsma. Second time they're hooking up on a day. Again, velo from Conrad, and you saw it, man. He had one-on-one coverage out there. I think just a little head nod.
Got it.
I'm like, give a little shake to the outside, put your foot in. Touchdown pass, Conrad to Miles Bardsma. Puts your Whitney Young Dolphins up 24 to nothing here in the third quarter, midway through the third quarter. Doctor to Doctor to Doctor. Point after is good. Barrett to Conrad to Sexy Money Bradley for the extra point. 25 to nothing Dolphins over the Warriors.
So 72 yards, big play, the 51-yard run from Luke Jolich. Have no idea what the time of the drive was. I wish I could help you out. Scoring play, 15 yards on that beautiful little slant. No safety back. Barsman knew he was open the whole way. Just a beautiful ball from Conrad. 1-2, put his foot in the ground and let it fly. And the Dolphins up 25 to nothing, just where they needed to be. So this is going to set up next week, Barry. Big week 9. You're going to have 2 regular season championship games. Whitney Young Taft, Simeon Morgan Park. Winner will tie for the CPL regular season title. And then Lincoln Park has to win tonight, and next week they have 2 easier games. They had the easiest schedule in the public league this year. So you could have a 3-way tie for the public league if Lincoln Park wins out.
Yeah, I looked at one point that Lincoln Park, and I mean we were actually in that boat too. We had to hopefully get a win over Taft, but you could advance to the playoffs without having advance to the playoffs. Solomon Bradley hammers that through the back of the end zone. Could advance to the playoffs undefeated and never have played another playoff qualifying team. But that's just the way it works out. I mean, that's
right.
It's.
I mean, who would have thought Kenwood is
division,
in the situation that they're in right now?
Right. And again, when they're lining that up, you thought, I mean, Phillips has really struggled this year, and so they had Phillips early in this season, and quite frankly, they had Lane Tech, but Lane Tech was missing, or Noah Mayra, their quarterback, was severely limited in that game, which was something I talked to our coaching staff about because they were like, what happened in that game? And I actually had some intel that Mayra was out, and they're like, oh, well, that makes more sense. So Zavala give to Cross and tackled by Luke Jolich in the middle of that line. So again, the defense, Coach O.D. got these guys dialed in.
So no gain on that, Barry.
So no gain. Adrian Del Villar on the line along with Oshevsky and Paracchini. Solomon Bradley getting some defensive reps. Man in motion, high snap, gets it down, tackled, dropped for a loss. That would be Luke Jolich with the initial hit.
Sent Mr. Cross airborne.
Sure did. Third down and long.
I think Cross picked up a yard and flew for the next 2.
Planted by Jolich.
Have we seen an underneath pass yet for Westinghouse? Everything has been
No.
40 yards, right?
No, I've seen some of the stuff on tape where they tried to get the ball to Ricks out in space a little bit. I think this is end of the third quarter. I'm going to predict that the clock is at 0 right now.
There you go. So the only bad thing is Dolphins are going to run into the sun, but if you're a Westinghouse receiver, you're looking back into the sun to try and catch the football. And if you're the Dolphins, you only need one hand to catch it apparently today.
If you are Miles Bardsma and you're having a game of your life right now. But I think a good point here. Okay, so Bardsma came in on the season with 2 catches. You had Duhan, the leading receiver. Yeah, 17 catches, 238. BG3, 7 catches for 86 yards. Running backs, just a few. Each of them had either 1 or 2 catches. The balance is going to be key, right? As you get into this portion of the schedule. Last year, Taft, we dialed up the Wildcat formation and ran the ball down their throats 50 times a game. That is not the same Taft team.
Right.
They, again, only 1 loss on the season right now for Taft. So you're not going to get that. You're not going to get it done. And this Dolphins team sort of figured out early on that they didn't have the personnel to run Wildcat this year if they wanted to or not. So what you've seen, Conrad, last week, I thought he played his best game. Had some nice passes, but again, the maturation, like, hey, take what's there. They don't need Von Conrad to throw the ball 40 times a game. But the balance has been really, really solid today, and developing Bardsma as another weapon alongside Duhan, as well as the running backs of Warner and Jolich. So, 4th quarter, starting out here again, 25-0 here. 3rd and long for the Warriors. Throwing it across the middle, almost picked off.
Luke Jolich saw the end zone, forgot to bring the ball with him.
But good job of defense right there. Efren Solano was in on that. Nick Dale checks back in.
Westinghouse is going to go for it.
Westinghouse going to go for it here.
I'm really surprised after reading everything I could about Westinghouse how little they've gotten the ball to Ricks today, and even try to. I think he has one carry, and he's been targeted deep a couple times, but nothing underneath to let him use his speed to try and break this game open. Here come the Dolphins.
Zavala.
Luke Jolich knocks it down.
Nice job by Jolich and the Whitney Young Dolphins defense. So Westinghouse still less than 0 for the day, right?
Well, no, they got 14 on that before the interception.
Oh, right. Yep.
So that's +6. They were +2, so they're +8 now.
+8. All right. If you were betting the prop bet on Westinghouse Warriors yardage, hope you went with the under. Dolphins back out there with the ball again.
12 or 3?
12 coming back out. Yeah, I was wondering if we'd see some. We got a couple guys a little deeper on the 2 deep out there. But still running, I think, with that first team UN security force of the Serbian Sledgehammer, Nick Dale, Paracchini, Oshesky, MJ Woods. There's the handoff to Jolich, following all those guys and cutting his way into the end zone. Really nice job downfield. I saw Nick Dale with a good seal block, Paracchini with a seal block, MJ Woods and Jolich hit the Jets into the end zone. Touchdown. Jolich with his 2nd rushing touchdown on the day.
And if you're the Westinghouse defense, you just have to be exhausted. I mean, you've been on this field. I don't have time of possession, but
the operation is good.
It's got to be almost 3-1 just time of possession.
Yep, exactly. We talked about last week about how just, the domination that Whitney Young had against Amundsen. So Amundsen came in as a team that had played some really close games. You saw this Whitney Young team sort of be able to do that against some opponents last year as they got the momentum. And I think with this team early on, again, they played those close games.
Right.
The Johnson game was close, right? And struggled offensively in some of those things. Kenwood game, Kenwood, great team, so you're able to do things there. Lane game, go back all the way to that, which seems like decades ago.
Right?
But like you made the point, only 2 plays were run in Lane territory that whole night. But you had the BG3 pick 6, and then you had the Quinn Duhan run on 4th down. So kind of got bailed in some ways. You
find a way to win, right?
You found a way to win, and that makes a good football team. That kickoff fielded
22
inside the 10-yard line, and nice tackle downfield. There's Andrew Latham. So Latham, special teamer and starting safety.
Jaden Williams that time on the return.
So Latham stays in. So now I think we'll have to make sure that we start calling out some names there.
Still got Yolich, Champion, Gray,
yep.
Latham, Barsma, Quinn.
Logan Jones getting some time on the D line. So Del VR, number 54, Logan Jones, number 50 are checking in. So giving some of the UN security force a little bit of time on the sidelines. Bardsma.
That sun is crazy.
There's Cross looking for some blockers. There's Yolich taking him down.
Cross with
Taking him down along with, I think, Joseph Gray on that tackle.
So and you can realize how well the defensive line has played today, Barry, because we haven't called Gray's name very much.
I was just thinking the same thing. It's been getting done up front in the trenches. And there it gets done
Joseph
again.
Gray. There you go. We bring up his name once. You got to bring it up twice.
He heard it, because he's like, what? You're not listening.
You're not talking about me today
as well. The 6th Gray out of 7. So 4th quarter action here. 3rd and 2 yards. Zavala under center.
Man, he disappears when he goes under center. Oh,
Gives
nice
it
play
to the outside. There's Ricks on the outside. And Ricks breaks a big one. Quinn Duhan down. And the ball is out. The ball is out on the ground.
Nah, he was down. I agree.
Was down.
I agree with that call. He got it. I agree with that call.
Back there at the last line of defense did a nice job of racking them up. But again, I think they're listening too.
Yeah, you can see why you want to get in the ball. That's breakaway speed, but you know who he's not faster than?
Quinn Duhan.
Quinn
Mach
Duhan.
5. He's only Mach 4. He's Mach 3. He's got Mach 3 against Mach 5. I'm taking Mach 5 any day of the week. Zavala.
32 yards.
There's
Ball.
Cross,
Nice
bounces
bounce.
right back up and hammered down. Joseph Gray, football player.
No.
Unbelievable.
No.
That's going to be unbelievable if they call that a penalty.
There's no way that's a penalty.
Football play. And the referee calls it from a mile and a half away because.
And the line judge on the other side threw a flag too. That was a great tackle.
Yeah, it was a great tackle. Line judge threw it after the other flag came in. That was Joseph Gray meeting him at the point of launch.
That was a shoulder to the chest. That's
Absolutely.
all that was.
There was nothing else involved in that play.
They're going to pick it up.
Other than Joseph, the football player, Gray, doing what he does, which is play football.
And he does it very well. But that was just a great tackle. Nothing, not a headshot, not anything.
Nope, just launched shoulder pad into chest. Cross felt like he got into an automobile accident on it, I'm sure. But that's a football play, guys. That's what we sign up for. That's why we wear pads. That's why we train.
Never pick it up. There you go. Good decision.
Yeah. Chicago Public League refs. Love you guys. Love you guys. And
we've agreed with them twice.
Well, and like give the credit to the crew chief on here. He was the guy that was closest to it. Question why the heck the guy all the way in the back is
there's
making
an
that
umpire,
play,
right? There's
because
an umpire
he doesn't even have a view of it. If he's going to call it targeting, he's not anywhere close to it. But that has not stopped the
things
referees
happening in the
before.
past.
But good job there by the crew getting it right. So it was a Gain of about 1 on that. Again, Cross is a guy who has carried the ball a lot for them over the course of the year. Had 2 touchdowns against Peyton, 2 against Lincoln Park. Westinghouse going, and so Julian Carter, Coach Carter asking for an explanation there.
I mean, how many coaches get to talk to the referees?
So, crew chief checking in with this
they're
line
checking the
judge on
time, I
something.
think. They're,
okay, all right.
Because our guy on this side is keeping the time.
Okay.
So I think he had like an 8. So I think I saw 8 fingers go
Yep.
up. 850 something maybe.
So Zavala, the QB, under center. They've had some problems there. Cross, Zavala back to pass. Going to throw one of those routes, but good pressure. Aaron Champion, the initial pressure, and then MJ Woods and Pericini. Pericini with the tackle. There you go, Grandma Pericini.
I mean, they have Zavala at 5'8", and that is accurate because he just gets lost in there. When the Dolphins' defensive line gets going, you can't find him. I was waiting for him to pop out the other side because they just couldn't get low enough to tackle him.
Dolphins just do such a nice job with that defensive front getting the pressure, and then when it dictates it, getting Champion or BG3. But the rest of the defense, I mean, it's not like you're dialing up a lot of exotic packages, so you got the coverage in the back. Zavala steps up and wings one, intercepted by,
come on.
Geez. So Maxwell Warner broke it up. I think they're going to call pass interference.
Aaron Champion's the other player out there. I don't know about that. The ball was going out of bounds. I'm not sure where the flag was. That is on the Coach Carter side, though. So.
Yep, exactly.
So that'll be a first down for the 15-yard penalty. Will set up Westinghouse with a first down. Another meeting of the referees. I think it was interception. I think Warner got his feet in bounds. They're going to go to Coach Carter, explain what they're doing. Yep, they're going to walk off the 15-yard pass interference penalty. Well, we agreed with them on 2 plays in a row, and then they had to go ruin it.
I'm not quite sure what we got going. We got a hot mic next to us. So Dolphin fans not happy about that.
Wow, a lot of Dolphins fans here.
Yep.
First and 10 from the 33.
So that gets the Warriors fans a little fired up here again in the 4th quarter. Zavala.
Oh
my God.
Buster Cepeda. MJ
Woods. The bull on the bull rush.
Cross is like, what happened? So he's down. Like, we won't make fun, but
looking a bit like Reggie White. Just.
I mean, he didn't.
Across.
I'm not sure how he held on to the ball there because he didn't have it, but he got smashed and landed on.
The bull hammers down Cross. So trainers come out to take a look. Again, back to the defense and the job that they have done today. Great job. Seeing Coach O.D., he would be the last guy in the world to want to be bragging about anything, but you put a 5th shutout on the board. Be pretty good. I mean, that Lincoln Park defense has been, again, maybe not playing the best competition. They've been great all year. They've only given up 24 points on the season.
But they also have the fewest opponent wins in all of the Red Conference.
Yep, exactly.
So who are they're going to put? Who's the big guy coming out there now? .22 is Williams is the running back now. He's like, wait, I have to go in there now, Coach? So second about 13.
Yep, 22 is Jaden Williams, a freshman. He's trying to get to the outside. Nice job. Yep, tackled by Joseph Gray. Actually saw Jaden Williams get a little bit of time in that Peyton game, so he's got some burst.
Put the ball down on the 30. About 7 yards to go. Yeah, he almost got hit in the backfield and was able to get around it.
Yep. So Zavala, Williams next to him. give to him, trying to get to the outside. Nick
Not-
Dale runs
not
into
this
Nick
time.
Dale. Serbian Sledgehammer says,
Fool me once.
hey, Jaden Williams.
Brings
Not
up fourth
today.
down. Probably about 7 still. No game. We'll call that no
All
game.
right, so Cross checking back in. The freshman Williams out.
Went in the medical tent for a second.
Got everything squared away. Got Cornell Montgomery, receiver to the top. Again, guy who had a 76-yard touchdown against Peyton. Zavala, low snap. Zavala, under pressure, launches one. Incomplete. I think that was BG3 with the pressure from the right-hand side. BG3 did a nice job of pulling up and not getting a penalty on that. And the ball comes over to the Whitney Young Dolphins with, what do you say?
5 minutes.
I was going to say 5:08.
5
5:08.
minutes,
Yeah, 5:08 left here in the fourth quarter. Again, 31-0 lead by the Whitney Young Dolphins. Now you see Raiden Scott Muir checking in. Jonathan E.G. Mockin. Try to see on the sidelines. We're going to get a little Josiah Purnell. See Aaron Champion getting fired up.
Play running back now.
Yeah,
Yep,
Champion's
Purnell's right
got
there.
a big-time
Talking to
touchdown
Coach
run
Eddie.
against Johnson. So Josiah Purnell going to check in. Josiah 2 for 4, 60 yards and a touchdown. Also 43 yards rushing on the year. So he's gotten some good action in some of those early season games. Actually played the second half in that Johnson game after Conrad got dinged up. So good job today, Von Conrad. Earn yourself a spot on the sidelines for the rest of this, safely next to Coach Eddie. Inside give to Scott Muir. Scott Muir following his blockers nicely, picking up some positive yardage. So Scott Muir, the junior that's going to see has seen a lot of action this year. Going to really looking forward to seeing that guy play next year. He'll slot into sort of the Luke Yolich
That inside
spot
linebacker.
in the inside linebacker, running back type of combination of things.
Have you overcome your clock phobias coming here to Westinghouse?
Yeah, this is pretty darn good therapy. This is talk therapy for me today. Scott Muir again in motion, handoff to Champion. Champion bursting through. Champion still on his feet at the 50, at the 40, into the house. Aaron Champion put it on the board, baby.
67 yards.
Champion, 67-yard run. Put that next to his 70-yard run earlier. And there's a holding call.
No way.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
come
sure
on.
that flag came out about
Dude.
10 seconds after Champion was in the end zone.
No way.
Now I got to take that off the board, man.
So what are we up to? I think we're up to 5. I told you it was going to be.
Oh yeah.
Now the referee's trying to coach.
Oshesky, talking to Oshesky about what a hold is. This is what a hold is when the game is 31-0 and we're at Westinghouse. He's getting a little pat on the head, like, hey, this just is the way it's going to go. Oshesky going to come over to the sidelines.
So the ball goes back to the 24-ish.
Ah,
Second down all over again.
Champion going to,
He's got to take a breather now. He thought
yeah.
that's at least the second touchdown he's had called back. He had one called back in the Corliss game. He's got to be like, what do I got to do? Was it 70 yards in at the Johnson game?
Yep, 70-yarder. Sean Miller checking in. Our nationally ranked ninja, Sean Miller.
There's a ranking system for
Yeah,
ninjas?
yeah, he is. Seriously, he competes in national competition. So he's, I think he finished, Brian Miller, you're going to have to fact check me on this, but I'm going to say he's top 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he has to, like, vault over the middle linebacker, hurdle the cornerback.
And then drop kick a dude. Purnell, handoff to Miller. Let's see if he does that. Miller wrestled down after a gain off on the right-hand side. So Sean Miller, one of the sophomores, getting some action. Again,
Just so we keep Brian on the chain gang for another 2 years.
Absolutely, yep. Got him dialed in for that. Efren Solano getting some time on the security force right now. MJ Woods out there all day. Again, MJ making some of those college visits. Was down at Miami of Ohio, which cues me to try to look at my ESPN to see how the Red Hawks and my daughter, Ellison Newman, who is the photographer and social media person, Redhawks putting it on Ohio in the Battle of the Bricks, 30-0.
Bobcats taking
That's
it on
big
the
time.
chin.
That's big time. When you have a daughter who wants a bowl, she'll do just about. Nice run up the middle, pickup of a few.
4th and long. See if we see Solo. Oh, what? Oh, that was
down.
3rd down.
Yep, here comes the punting unit.
Yeah, this is a little quick
Solomon
to
Bradley.
change.
So great day of football today for the Whitney Young Dolphins. Also, Tony and I got our sons down at Indiana, where Coach Signetti just got the Hoosiers rolling.
7-0.
Beat up on Nebraska today. Solomon Bradley kicking that thing out. Gonna check up at the 54-yard line.
The 54-yard line?
Yep. That's for Scott Clayton. That's for Scott Clayton. Always.
Oh, we got a cramping down. Hopefully just a cramp.
Yeah. Number 20 for
the always popular 54-yard line.
So nice job again. Nice job by the Dolphins and Coach Finger. This is one of those games that, a lot of over the years, this can get a little bit nasty in the trenches in this game.
Well, here you go. Here's it on the twos, right? It's all on the twos to finish this shutout. What do you think? 2:45?
Yeah, sounds right. Adrian Del VR, Logan Jones, Efren Solano, and Iokunle Allen Espinosa is your D-line. High snap, there's Cross. And he is cleaned up by
he's going to have a tough
left-hand side of the line.
He's going to have a tough Saturday night. He's taking some hits today.
Del VR in there. Got Devander Shoemaker on the field right now. Kendall Lynham, still one of my favorite plays of the year. Kendall hanging on for dear life in that Kenwood game on a punt return. There's a handoff to Cross again. There's Lynham coming up in coverage, and a nice tackle made by Lee Dingfield.
So Westinghouse is going fast. Zavala's trying to get his guys in, so we got to be under. We got a timeout. Timeout Westinghouse.
Timeout.
Oh, no, we got an injured player, I think.
Okay. So I did not redo our timeouts. I think
injured Dolphin.
Both teams have their full contingent of timeouts.
Can't get a number for you.
Yeah, I got the glasses. We'll see. Sam's out there taking a look. So some of the other guys that were out there, I think you got Brian Pantoja.
Not sure. I saw the Westinghouse trainer come out too. So yeah, this is not good.
Yeah. Yep. I think just the way the coaches are out there, trying to get the players to stand down a little bit.
So just while you didn't mention the other team from Indiana. You kind of ignored the other team from Indiana.
I was thinking about it today. I'm like, Indiana, the Hoosiers, because I think the Hoosiers have, in basketball, they have like a top 10 NIL type of budget.
I was talking about this other team.
I know. So
not the other basketball team.
I was going to try to get in and talk about how I thought, well, that NIL money, where else is it going to go in Indiana?
Well, apparently it's going to Notre Dame since they have the #1 recruiting class for next year. They got kids that have never heard of Notre Dame basketball coming to Notre Dame next year. So next time I complain about the NIL, just remind me that you got 3 top 30 recruits. Yeah, this isn't good, Barry.
Yeah, I think definitely an injury that is going to take us a little bit of time for everybody to get squared away. We'll see with the referees coming off to the side here.
I don't know. They're going to have to call an ambulance. There's not one here on site.
Yeah. So we'll see what
I don't think.
Officiating crew, they're heading off to the side. I see a Westinghouse coach out there, a trainer on the phone.
Yeah, Coach Carter's out there.
So yeah, I think we've got a Probably a dad that's heading out there right now. Okay, so what they're going to do is they're going to call the game here because we've got an injured Dolphin down. We'll try to check out who that is, but he's down on the field, and I think what they have done is just called the end of the game here. So 31-0 ends on a bit of a somber note here for the Dolphins, but has been a up until that point heck of a performance by the Whitney Young Dolphins, who will go to 8-0 on the season, heading into a big-time matchup next Friday night against Taft.
And
so that'll
Diesel
be
McFadden.
Diesel McFadden. So if we do a quick off the top of my head, Diesel McFadden, who's Darren McFadden's son. Diesel is an edge rusher who already has an offer to Illinois, so he leads the defense of Taft. You've also got he plays a little bit at running back. The running back combo of Steven Carrera, who's a kid who's just got lightning speed. And then Jaden Padilla is still there.
He's been there for like 7 years.
He's been there for absolutely 7 years.
He was there when Pat was there.
Yeah, he was. That was his freshman year. We talked about like the three horsemen of the apocalypse. They had their running back duo, and Padilla was the freshman of that, and he's still around. So great running backs there. They had a kid who was, I think, a sophomore last year, Roman, who was a quarterback who we saw in that first game, who I think had a little bit of life, and they're definitely putting points on the board right now, and they're playing some solid D. So Coach Elder, I think I probably was warning a lot of people last year, like, don't get used to this, right? Because that was the Dolphins rolling out that Wildcat formation, and I think the first game they gained 275 plus yards rushing. They went over 300 yards in the playoff game, and really did whatever they wanted or needed to do in that. So that will not be the case next Friday night at Rockney, but it will be a game that has some definite consequences at the Chicago Public League level.
Yeah, it'll be crazy from a public league standpoint. With
that one's live.
With five teams currently undefeated in the public league, you could quickly go from a tie for first to fourth or fifth as a seed, depending how everything goes and what you do in your first round playoff game. So, it's always super important. Right? Rivalries are hard in the public league, just the way everything has been changing around the last couple times. But the fact that we played Taft 3 times in the last 3 years, not a lot of friendships out there. So it's going to be a good game, hard knocking. A lot of offense from Taft. They're going to put this Whitney Young defense to the test. But, man, I'll tell you what, they are locked and loaded right now and playing as well as any high school defense I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, and you're getting it at all 3 levels, right? I mean, we talked about the D-line during it today, and it's just a scheme that a lot of times those aren't the guys that get a lot of the attention, right? I mean, their job is to soak up a bunch of those offensive linemen and then allow the football player Joseph Gray, Yolich, Scott Meir, those guys do their things, and then when things are coming on the edges, then you've got BG3, Barry Gordon, and Aaron Champion taking care of things. So you got that linebacking core that has been so good for so long here. It's just keep plugging and playing guys, but that defensive backfield.
Now with Barsma stepping up, I mean,
Barsma interception today, and the 2 touchdown catches, along with his touchdown catch from last week. Again, we talked about the weapons, talked about like Quinn Duhan has been doing a lot for this team all year. Now you got Barsma checking in, getting some action there. The balance of that run and pass game you get later into this schedule, that's what you need to do. In the past, it used to be like last year they made that switch a little early because it was a passing team. It was a spread offense. It was Newman getting the ball to Hood and to Nazir Rankin and Duhan a bit. The running game was actually struggle a little bit. I mean, you got a little bit of action. I mean, definitely.
Well, it was definitely a kind of razzle-dazzle, trickeration kind of offense.
Yeah.
So late in the season.
So yeah, then pivoted to that Wildcat, which sometimes you could run down people's throats, but when you couldn't, and that was what you saw. And in the state playoff game against Wheaton, you had Clayton, who had gotten hurt in practice that week, and you had Anthony Hood, who got hurt in the Taft game, so he was probably at like 50%. So you really didn't have much of anything, and then it started raining because when it's the playoffs and it's Rockney, that's what happens to us. But then in the Kenwood championship game, then you also had you got a trick play that got you touchdown in the first half, and then Kenwood had completely shut that down. And so then you roll Newman back out, and you go back into your spread from the first 6 weeks of the year, which, again, when you look at, if you go back to last year, their game against Westinghouse was where they were hitting on all cylinders. Today, they also hit on all cylinders against this Warriors team.
Right, you love the way they're building. So last week, first week, they had over 200, 100. This week, I'm not sure they needed that just based on the way the game went, but they're going to be well over 150 yards rushing, over 100 yards passing. So now you need it. Now you're going to get into the heart of your schedule. You got Taft, tough team, whoever you pick up in the first round of the
7-8 playoffs,
the state championship, and then whether you move on to the second round of the state championship or you come back to the public league playoffs, you got to have everything clicking. And I think the coaching staff has these guys peaking at the right time.
All right, well, exciting stuff. I did get a text message from Hayden Petroulis, so I had to text her just giving her some good luck today. So she texted me back. She said, well, we lost the first game, but we blew out the second team, so we are third in the state.
There you go.
So
that's a huge achievement in a sport that's only 4 years old and a Whitney Young team that's only 3 years old. So congratulations to the Dolphins on their third-place finish in the state championship.
All right, so thanks a lot, Tony McHale, the Godfather. Appreciate having you out here today, my friend. We will be back on the air next Friday night at Rockne Stadium, so join us then. Thanks, everybody. Have yourself a great weekend. Go Dolphins.